Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Simulating the Apocalypse Era, I create a new body refining system. Chapter 61. It's over. The three old monsters died like this, and their majestic figures like gods stood in front of our ancestral star. How virtuous and capable we are that we can be protected by such a person. Please accept our homage to the Supreme Being. This is the great benefactor of our stone tribe, like a new life. Thank you, sir. After the war ended, billions of creatures on the Stone Clan's ancestral star knelt on the ground and cried bitterly, thanking Chi Dao for his great kindness. If Chi Dao hadn't appeared, not only would their ancestors have died, but the entire ancestral star would have been swallowed up and become the origin of others. At this moment, Chi Dao once again felt the blessings of sentient beings' thoughts on his body. This feeling is exactly the same as what I felt in the four realms before, but it is more intense. It's blessing me in the dark. This feeling is very mysterious. 407. Chi Dao was slightly surprised, silently realizing the power of this sentient being's thoughts, and came up with some different guesses. At this time, Gutuo had almost recovered. After the two groups of Holy Dao origins went down, the origin in his body was repaired, and his realm did not decline. Ji Yutuo knew very well that all of this was brought about by Shinto. After the injury was almost healed, he knelt down directly in front of Chi Dao, performing the greatest salute of kneeling 3 times and kowtowing 9 times. Fellow Taoist, there is nothing I can do to repay this kindness. I can only follow fellow Taoist and do my best. I am willing to go through fire and water for fellow Taoist without any hesitation. In addition, my entire Stone Clan is willing to be driven by fellow Taoist without any complaints. This oath will be learned by all generations. Gutuo swore to the sky with his Dao fruit, causing thunder to roll deep in the sky. May I be driven by you forever. On the Stone Clan's ancestral star, countless living beings follow their ancestors and worship Chi Dao, making the love of all living beings even stronger. Seeing this scene, Chi Dao was a little at a loss. He originally came here for the favor he owed before, but he didn't expect Patriarch Ji Yutuo to make such an oath. Fellow Taoist is so polite. I was just here to help. I can't bear such a big cause and effect, Chi Dao said quickly. But Gutuo ancestor insisted on doing it, and he was willing to become a follower of Chi Dao with the respect of the ancestors of the clan. Fellow Taoist is too humble. It's just a small favor, but fellow Taoist is willing to help my entire Stone Clan resolve the disaster and kill 3 old monsters in a row. How dare I live up to such a great kindness? Please fellow Taoist, please don't look down on me as an old guy. My entire Stone Clan is willing to follow fellow Taoist forever. Ancestor Ji Yutuo expressed great gratitude and kowtowed again. Seeing this, Chi Dao had nothing to say and could only accept it. Well, there are 2 more groups of Holy Path origins here, and they are given to you as well. It should be able to sustain you and your ancestral star for a while. Chi Dao then took the source of the Holy Way left behind after killing Ji Yu Saint and old demon Chu Tian, which he left behind on purpose. Otherwise, he didn't need it, he would have blown it up long ago without leaving any trace behind. When he saw Chi Dao once again gifting himself the source of the 2 holy paths, Ji Yutuo was excited again and extremely shocked. But being excited, he resisted his inner impulse and firmly refused. Sir, this is the end of the Dharma era, and the origin of this holy way is extremely precious. If I accept it, what will you do, sir? Ji Yutuo said. Chi Dao didn't take it seriously and forced it to him. I have created a new Taoist system, and I can already ignore the suppression of the great Tao of heaven and earth, so naturally there is no need for such a thing. Even if the world completely withers away and everything ceases to exist, I can still exist in this world forever. Chi Dao explained. This shocked Patriarch Ji Yutuo and his eyes widened. He knew that Chi Dao had opened up a new system of Taoism and had personally gone to seek Taoism. But what he didn't expect was that Chi Dao could actually achieve this step and be able to withstand the suppression of the great Tao of heaven and earth. Your Excellency has actually accomplished the only thing that defies heaven in all eternity. No wonder you are not afraid of calamities in the past, present and future. I admire Ji Yutuo. So thank you for the reward, sir. Ancestor Ji Yutuo said with reverence. He naturally knew what this meant. This also made him feel even more that he was betting on the entire tribe to follow the right person. Of course, he did not mention the matter of seeking Dao again, because Qi Dao once told him that if he wanted to get into the new body refining system, he had to start from scratch and cut off all the cultivation. In today's chaotic situation, cutting off one's cultivation is asking for death. Highly praised. Qi Dao smiled and saw that Patriarch Ji Yutuo was sincere in his words. Later, he entered the ancestral star of the Stone clan under the respectful welcome of Patriarch Gutuo. Patriarch Gutuo also specially arranged for his 2 youngest granddaughters to accompany Qi Dao. The news that 3 old monsters fell in succession in Gutuo's star domain was spread in a very short period of time, and became a major event that caused a sensation in more than a dozen star domain films. A battle with Qi Dao will shock the world. His name was spread and feared by people. Among them, he has become an extremely dangerous person in the mouth of the ancestors. Tisk, 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 could he be the same person as the madman in ancient times? He is unknown and has endured until today. Otherwise, how could a terrifying figure appear out of thin air in the Dharma-ending era? Now, that old guy Ji Yutuo is on our lap, and no one dares to provoke him anymore. He, that's not necessarily true, right? Adertisement. As far as I know, the Celestial Beast Palace is furious, and its ancestors feel that there is medical authority. That Qi Dao, no matter how strong he is, can't be stronger than a half-step immortal level figure. It makes sense. The storm has just begun. Whether it is a blessing or a curse, who can say for sure? The ancestor level figures are all aloof, even if they talk about it, it is very obscure. In the Celestial Beast Palace they mentioned, Yingxuan and 4 other ancestors came to inform them about the new system. However, what surprised them was that the aloof Celestial Beast Palace Patriarch was not as excited as they imagined. When the Celestial Beast Palace Patriarch on the throne opened his eyes, the 5 great patriarchs could not help but lower their heads. You said that someone has opened up a new system of Taoism and can ignore the suppression of the great Tao of heaven and earth. The Celestial Beast Palace Patriarch spoke. Its body is a horned dragon, huge and exuding terrifying dragon power. Absolutely true. The juniors and others were all present at the game at that time and witnessed it with their own eyes. I came here this time, firstly, to inform you about this matter, ancestor, and secondly, to report that the man named Qi Dao killed the 2 great masters of monster race. Extreme Profundities said respectfully. However, the ancestor of Chulong still didn't have any mood swings, as if the death of 2 monster race greats had nothing to do with it. But it was finally moved because of the new Taoist system. I know why you came here and wanted to use my ancestor's hand to kill him, but you don't have the guts. But it doesn't matter. I am willing to be used by you once to take that person's life. When things are done, there will naturally be benefits, and I won't treat you badly. But if this is false, then prepare to become the blood food of my dragon race. The ancestor of Chulong exudes great dragon power. This made Extreme Profundities and others so excited that they immediately knelt down and worshipped. Thank you, ancestor. Celestial Beast Palace, Dragon Ancestor Palace. Now the leader of the monster race, the Chulong ancestor, looks at the Extreme Profundities and others below, exuding a touch of dragon power. It is a powerful figure in the entire universe. Everyone knows that this is a terrifying figure who is half immortal. If the immortal gate hadn't disappeared, this man would have become immortal. At this moment, its eyes are brilliant, sweeping away the turbidity, and it is awe-inspiring. How many people know about this matter? The ancestor of Chulong asked. Extreme Profundities immediately understood what the horned dragon ancestor meant and stepped forward to report it. Ancestor, only we know about this matter now. There is also Kong Zan. He shouldn't have thought of this step. Others may have seen it, but they would never guess that he is the founder of a new system, and he can ignore the suppression of heaven and earth. If the ancestor of the horned dragon can get the origin in his body, monster race will definitely prosper and come to this place. Extreme Profundities is absolutely certain. You sure? The ancestor of the horned dragon lowered his eyes, and the power of the dragon descended, making Extreme Profundities break into a cold sweat. Junior guarantees it with his life. Extreme Profundities is determined. Good. In this case, you go and kill the man named Kong Zan first. This matter must not be spread out. When everything is ready, I will notify you. Chulong ancestor said with satisfaction. Extreme Profundities and others secretly rejoiced and immediately left the Celestial Beast Palace for killing Kong Zan. Even though Extreme Profundities and Kong Zan have known each other for many years and have always treated each other as brothers, they cannot resist the temptation in the face of the new system. For him, brothers are meant to stab you twice at critical moments. Ancestor, do you really want to share it with them? If it is true as they say, it is a new system that can withstand the erosion of heaven and earth and allow our monster race to continue to be strong. Moreover, when the time comes, our horned dragon clan will also be above all things and become a being that is respected by all living beings. After Extreme Profundities and others walked away, a small horned dragon appeared. It was the descendant of the ancestor of the horned dragon. Upon hearing this, the Chulong ancestor sneered twice. Is it worthy of their strength? Don't worry, after this is done, these people will all die. Remember, don't spread this news, don't let other fat BU immortals know about it. In this age of the end of the Dharma, only we can get the only chance of life and eternal prosperity. The ancestor of Chulong is full of confidence and wants to monopolize the new system. And just when the little horned dragon was about to leave, it stopped again. Go and call the second ancestor over. He is still short of a breakthrough to half immortality. After we go together to kill the man named Chi Dao this time, he will definitely be able to step into the half-step of immortality. When the time comes, our two half-step immortals in the Celestial Beast Palace will coexist, even in restricted areas without fear. Chulong ancestor gave instructions and had already begun to envision the future. Yes, the outside world is changing, and almost everyone in the star domain in the universe has received the news, because Yaoji wants to avenge the two powerful men in his clan. Tisk, tisk, it's not good to mess with anyone. If you insist on killing the old monster in Celestial Beast Palace, you are still too young and energetic. There is a half-step immortal sitting in the Celestial Beast Palace, which angered the ancestor of the horned dragon, and the entire star sea will be subverted. Yes, especially at this time, the ancestor of Chulong will probably go and take action himself. This time, 220 star domain is really going to be destroyed. Haha, well done, one less opponent in the end of the Dharma era. The powerful beings in each star domain have already learned the news, and most of the leader-level figures are gloating about the misfortune, hoping that other star domain opponents will die soon. As for the ancestor-level characters, some of them are already ready to take a share of the war, so they have made preparations in advance. After all, the origin of the Holy Way is hard to find, and every bit of it is precious. Before they are completely sure, they will not take action against opponents of the same level in person, because they are likely to be picked off halfway, and they themselves are also in danger. During this period, Gutuo star domain naturally also got the news, and was extremely uneasy for a while. Celestial Beast Palace is going to attack me. People haven't arrived yet, but they are making such a big fuss. Aren't you afraid that I will run away? Chi Dao didn't panic at all when he heard what Ji Yutuo said. After coming to help Ji Yutuo solve the disaster, he was ready to bear the consequences. He had expected all this. Sir, you'd better avoid the edge for now. After a while, if the suppression of heaven and earth becomes more severe, their realm will fall. It's not too late to meet the enemy then. Ji Yutuo advised, not wanting anything to happen to Chi Dao. Avoid the edge temporarily. Then I leave, what will you do? Chi Dao's words put Ji Yutuo in trouble. If no one is found in the Celestial Beast Palace, the entire ancient star domain will be overthrown, and not a single blade of grass will grow. But soon, Ji Yutuo's eyes became firm, with a determination to die. As long as you are fine, what if I and the entire Stone Clan die? Your Excellency has given us a new life, and we have already died without regrets. Ji Yutuo's eyes were determined. Chi Dao shook his head decisively and refused, quite calm and calm. I do not go. I'll just wait here for them to come. I'll catch them as many as they come. So what if he is half immortal? Just kill him once. Chi Dao doesn't care. Hearing this, Ji Yutuo was extremely shocked. What a terrifying strength Chi Dao had to be able to speak so leisurely. Afterwards, Ji Yutuo left first and summoned his clan members to make all preparations. Even if they knew the disparity in strength, the enemy would still have to pay the price. However, no matter whether it was the outside world in Gutuo star domain, Everyone waited for 3 days, but the imagined war did not break out. This made those creatures think that this was fake news for a while, but after thinking about it carefully, they found it impossible. At the same time, in Gutuo's star domain, Gutuo is also puzzled. He had made all preparations in advance, and even arranged a large formation in the star domain, unable to wait for half of the people from the Celestial Beast Palace to come. It's definitely a bit strange. Qi Dao held his cheek and said, vaguely feeling that things were not that simple. And just when the outside world was making various speculations, on the 4th day, a terrifying dragon power came quietly, without everyone knowing it. Qi Dao, who was in seclusion, was instantly startled, and his body flashed directly into the starry sky. Then, he saw an old dragon with a majestic body, covering thousands of miles of starry sky, coiled in the sea of stars, looking down at him from above. Next to this old dragon, there is a 3-legged golden crow, which also exudes a peerless aura. This is the second ancestor of the Celestial Beast Palace. Yes, the ancestor of Chu Long sneered, and he could see something abnormal about Qi Dao at a glance. This time it deliberately spread the word, but secretly came to kill quietly, just to solve the problem and get what it wanted in the shortest possible time. At this moment, the entire Gutuo star domain was in panic and was on the verge of collapse. A half-step immortal has arrived. Ancestor Chu Long, a peerless powerful man who became enlightened in the early years of ancient times, and had already reached the stage of semi-immortality hundreds of thousands of years ago. The arrival of such a terrifying powerful man made even Ji Yu Tuo feel suffocated, and he felt like he was going to die just looking at each other. As for the entire ancestral star of the Stone Clan, it is crumbling under the power of the dragon. Fortunately, Qi Dao exuded the soft power of the new system and protected the entire Stone Clan's ancestral stars and ancient Tuo, allowing the dragon's power to dissipate. Great ancestor, it seems he is this person. The 3-legged golden crow spoke. He is full of evil spirits and is the second ancestor of the Celestial Beast Palace. He is also a famous strong man in ancient times. Now, it is only a hair away from reaching the level of half-immortality. When it saw Qi Dao appear, its eyes lit up, and its sharp eyes wanted to penetrate Qi Dao. Well, there is indeed something. You were the one who created the new system. Ancestor Chu Long nodded, and then looked down at Qi Dao, nonchalantly. In its view, even existences at the level of the holy life are nothing more than ants. They are no match for it and can be easily suppressed. Therefore, it has regarded Qi Dao as its target and is ready to capture and kill him. Qi Dao was filled with doubts and thought for a moment, but did not respond to the old dragon. At this time, Ji Yu Tuo, who was beside Dao, couldn't wait. Ancestor Chu Long, I killed the 2 great powers of your monster race, and all the cause and effect are on me. If you want to take action, just come to me, don't involve other people. Ji Yu Tuo braved the pressure and stood up, not wanting Qi Dao to face the ancestor of the horned dragon alone. However, the ancestor of Chu Long did not come for revenge at all. In other words, monster race's powerful being was killed without any emotion at all. Its goal is Qi Dao. He. It's just a holy order, how can you speak here? To tell you the truth, I didn't come here for idle revenge. What I really value is people who can create new systems. This is the truly valuable thing. Ancestor Chu Long glanced at Ji Yu Tuo, and then focused all his attention on Qi Dao, nodding with satisfaction from time to time, as if he was observing a perfect piece of porcelain. What? How do you know? Ji Yu Tuo was shocked. He is convinced that there are no more than 10 people in the entire universe who know about the new system developed by Qi Dao. Even if there were at the time, they only saw it vaguely. But now the Chu Long ancestor is coming to kill directly, the target is too clear. Qi Dao was very calm and stared at the Chu Long ancestor calmly. He finally understood why the Celestial Beast Palace did not really take action after making such a big fuss for 3 days. It turned out that the secret ancestor of the Celestial Beast Palace had noticed the new system he created in advance and knew that it had great value. This time I came here to monopolize the new Taoism system without letting others know about it. I created a new Taoist system, do you want it? Qi Dao was relieved and sneered. The next moment, his 5 major life palaces resonated, the sound of the great Tao curled up, and the entire star domain was enveloped in it. When the ancestor of the horned dragon and the three-legged golden crow saw the inexhaustible source of Taoism in the 5 fate palaces, they were both shocked. This is actually true. Ha ha ha. Okay, as expected, I didn't let my trip go in vain. Now I give you a chance. Should you do it yourself and offer the source of Taoism in your body, or should I do it myself? The ancestor of Chulong was overjoyed and looked down at Chi Dao from a high position. It is so hot-eyed that I really want to get it right away. It seems that you are very confident. Do you think you can defeat me? Chi Dao sneered, but his expression gradually became serious. The next moment, the aura on his body was rising steadily, and the 5 major life palaces were shaking. The source of Taoism in them seemed to be boiling, constantly feeding back his flesh and blood. This time, Chi Dao took the initiative and punched the ancestor of the horned dragon who was curled up high above him. Since there is an old dragon looking down on him from above, he doesn't mind letting this dragon taste the pain. As for where Patriarch Chulong got the news, he decided to ask after revealing it. Boom! A time punch was blasted out, and the time and space along the way seemed to have stagnated, and the years were flowing backwards. This is the supreme true meaning of the time scripture, and Chi Dao has exerted its strongest power. When he saw this punch, Ancestor Chulong had a bad thought in his heart, but this thought quickly disappeared. Next to it, the three-legged golden crow made the first move, thinking that he could take down Chi Dao on his own. I'll kill you. Golden Wheel Divine Sun, the true fire of the sun refines the sacred destiny. Kill. The three-legged golden crow erupted, with real fire coming out of its body, and condensed into a ferocious tiger to attack Chi Dao. You're still far behind. Chi Dao glanced at it indifferently. Since the other party comes with the intention of hunting him, he will naturally not hold back. Different from before, this time Chi Dao went all out. Every inch of flesh and blood and life palace seemed to be sublimating, reaching the ultimate state. In this state, Chi Dao is as good as half immortal, or even stronger. Boom! Chi Dao punched through the void and was annihilated along with the real fire. The laws of the old way were being constantly obliterated and he was no match for the new system. So strong. The three-legged golden crow was shocked because several hairs on its body were knocked off and it was almost hit by a fist. At the moment of the fight, it actually felt a threat from Chi Dao. At this time, the horned dragon ancestor also discovered that something was wrong. Extreme profundities did not explain its true strength to it. Now that they had just fought, it immediately made some judgments in its mind. Chi Dao was a bit stronger than it imagined. Why don't you want the new system of Taoism? Come here, I'll pass it on to you on the spot. Chi Dao's fighting spirit is high, and the heavenly aura covers the sea of stars. Every move he makes hits the shattering void, shattering the laws of heaven and earth. Jung. Chi Dao takes action again, this time using the Samsara Sutra to evolve the Samsara sword, with a sword with an owl head and 3 legs of a golden crow. Come, I want to see what's weird about your so-called new system. The three-legged golden crow was annoyed. As the second ancestor of the Celestial Beast Palace, it didn't win the opponent in the first place. It felt a little aggrieved. Great Sun Ring. It made a sharp cry, and the raging flames burned out large swaths of stars. This time, it directly sacrificed its own saint weapon, which was a divine ring. The moment it appeared, the god Hao Jiao Jiao ring directly evolved into a sun, with a temperature that was enough to evaporate the stars, making it unbearable even for beings with a holy life level. Sir, be careful. Ji Yu Tuo was shocked. This was so dangerous. He had a terrible feeling of being set on fire. This three-legged golden crow was so terrifying that he knew in his heart that he would have died if he had gone up there. Reincarnation sword. Reincarnation in ancient and modern times. Behead. Chi Dao does not have a real sword, but the laws he evolved surpass the real sword intent, and he kills with the supreme Dao method. Even the hardest black gold in the world cannot stop this sword. Kang. This sword carried world-shattering power and directly cut off the Great Sun Ring. This made the three-legged golden crow vomit blood, which was unbelievable. How come my saint weapon looks like paper in front of Chi Dao? Not to mention that the moment the divine ring broke, the resulting sun exploded directly. The vision shocked the vast sea of stars and was captured by many ancestors. At this moment, Chi Dao is floating as if he is alone in the world, with his sword pointing at the 3 golden areas. Oh my god, What's going on over there in the starry sky? Wait a minute, that's the direction of Gutuo star domain. Why do I feel a terrible wave? Could it be someone from the Celestial Beast Palace who took action? It's not impossible. Come over and have a look. The battle between Qi Dao and the ancestors of the Golden Crow alarmed the ancestors of the nearby star domain. The terrifying fluctuations were difficult to avoid attracting attention. At this moment, both the Chulong ancestor and the Golden Crow ancestor realized that something was wrong. Qi Dao's strength exceeded their imagination, and they were unable to capture it immediately, which resulted in the current fluctuations in the attack being noticed. And if those ancestors are attracted to come, the Horned Dragon ancestor is afraid that his plan will not go too smoothly. Therefore, the Horned Dragon ancestors took action this time to end the battle quickly. It's all over. Who's having a little fight with you? My ancestor has looked down on this vast universe for so long. So what if you are the founder of the new system? You will be killed all the same. The ancestor of the Horned Dragon snorted coldly, and the sea of stars shook. The next moment, it directly stretched out a dragon claw, covering the entire ancient star domain below. The mighty dragon's power manifested itself at this moment, and Ji Yutuo felt as if he was facing a real dragon in the world. This feeling was so terrifying. I'm afraid you can't do it. Since the Dao method I created reached its extreme level, I have never killed an immortal being. Today, I will slay dragons and kill birds, Qi Dao said, also bursting out. He used the law manifestation that reaches the sky, bursting the sea of stars with one finger, and crushing the great Dao law with a strand of hair. At this moment, he was half a step beyond immortality. This is the real ceiling limit power, and it is the first time that Dao has used it. Boom! The 5 major life palaces erupted in immortal light at this moment, and a steady stream of Taoist rules emerged. And in his dantian, the divine spring was as vast as the sea. At this moment, it burst out like a dike, blessing the Tao of the Ming Palace. Time is annihilated, Tai Kang returns, chaos is destroyed. Reincarnation in the past and present. Immortal transformation. Qi Dao uses 5 powerful scriptures at once. At this moment, the gods and goddesses in the 5 major palaces of life are all solemn and reciting sutras continuously. The highest level of Taoist rules amazes the world and makes the heavens feel sensational. This is the supreme embodiment of the new system. Oh my God, is this really still a confrontation at the holy level? Why do I feel that Your Excellency has achieved immortality through immortal transformation? Ji Yutuo was extremely shocked and dumbfounded, and his mind was blank. This method BFBH easily destroys the rules, breaks the laws, and even the great Tao of heaven and earth trembles. And further away, the ancestors who were close to Gutuo star domain all witnessed this scene and shuddered for no reason. It's the ancestor of the Horned Dragon who has taken action. The dragon's claws cover the sky and the sun. But, what happened to that person? Why do I feel that he is transcendent and his aura is more terrifying than the ancestor of the Horned Dragon? Wait a minute, the Golden Crow Patriarch wanted to help, but was slapped into a bald rooster. ... Witnessing this scene across the distant sea of stars, the hearts of these ancestors were directly subverted, and it felt extremely unreal. What kind of existence is the Celestial Beast Palace? Since ancient times, he has looked down on all living beings and stood high above them. Everyone knows that the 2 great monster ancestors of the Celestial Beast Palace have extraordinary skills and are the first of the myriad monsters. But just today, a majestic body fought alone against the 2 ancestors of the Celestial Beast Palace and plucked out all the feathers of the Golden Crow ancestor. Ah, Qi Dao, I'm going to kill you. The ancestor of the Golden Crow was furious, and it really couldn't stand it anymore. Even at its level, it no longer cares about its appearance, but it is the supreme 3-legged Golden Crow, which can evolve into the sun. It is a close relative of the legendary phoenix bird. Now that it was humiliated by Qi Dao's palm and all the feathers on its body were stripped away, how could it accept it? Especially when it saw the ancestors who were approaching from afar, it felt hot all over and wanted to regain its face. Boom! Qi Dao used the 5 great scriptures to strike a blow with the Horned Dragon ancestor, causing the opponent's dragon scales to fly and the whole dragon claws to tremble. And around 1 person and 1 dragon, the entire ancient star domain was annihilated and then evolved again. The top collision of the half-step immortal level is vividly displayed in this collision. Ordinary holy life level creatures are approaching, and even the aftermath cannot be blocked, at least they will be seriously injured. How come? You also have half immortal level strength. Ancestor Chu Long was shocked and his face looked ugly. When it realized this, it knew that it had been cheated. Extreme profundities did not clearly explain Qi Dao's true strength to it, causing it to suffer now. If it had known that the founder of the new system had grown to this point, it would not have been easily provoked. But it's too late to say anything now, we can only go to the dark side. At this moment, the starry sky behind Ancestor Gutuo shattered, and extreme profundities and others tore through the void and appeared, raising their palms to kill Gutuo. The most powerful attack of the 5 ancestors is almost guaranteed to be blamed. Ancestor Chu Long, we are here to help you. Extreme profundities is very proud, thinking that they have succeeded in stealing the peach behind their backs. It's you, L. Ancestor Gutuo reacted at the critical moment, became angry immediately, and immediately protected his ancestral star. However, these 5 guys came straight to him to take the source of the holy way from his body. Kill. Ancestor Ji Tuo did not want Qi Dao to be distracted, so he did not ask Qi Dao for help and fought against the 5 ancestors alone. Boom. The battlefield became even more chaotic, and the battle at the holy life level broke out completely, easily tearing apart the sea of stars, annihilating a star domain, and exploding countless stars. Roar. Fight again. The ancestor of the Horned Dragon seized this opportunity and unleashed the ancestral skills of the Horned Dragon clan to make Qi Dao flawless. At the same time, the Golden Crow ancestor also set out, burning with real fire flames all over his body, which can burn all tangible things in the world. The melee at the holy life level begins. Qi Dao hurriedly clapped in the direction of extreme profundities and others, briefly resolving the crisis for them, and then headed forward. Punch the Horned Dragon and kick the Golden Crow. Bring it on. Today I slay the dragon, twitch the dragon's tendons, and eat the dragon's marrow. Qi Dao roared and had already unleashed the real fire. Boom. He stepped out with a terrible foot, which directly shattered the boundless starry sky, and directly crushed one of the wings of the Golden Crow ancestor who was killing him, causing wailing, and the holy blood spilled into the starry sky. At the same time, Qi Dao punched out, and the 5 life palaces blessed Taoism, forcing the Horned Dragon ancestor back again. This scene was clearly reflected in the eyes of the approaching ancestors, making them stunned. Oh my God, is this going to change? Someone can fight the supreme combat power of the Celestial Beast Palace alone without losing at all. Is he the madman from ancient times? No, the ancient madman is in the restricted area, he is not. But his strength is just as strong as that of the ancient lunatic. Ah, Qi Dao, the ancestor of the Golden Crow, was so angry that he was shaking all over. How had he ever been so angry? One day, someone actually stepped on it, causing one of its wings to explode, and the holy blood carrying the true fire fell into the starry sky. Every drop was the original power. It's extremely heartbreaking. Golden Wheel 10 days, Star Group. Kill, kill, kill. The ancestor of the Golden Crow gritted his teeth and fought hard, even burning his true blood to gain the power of his ancestors. Boom. The starry sky melted silently, and continued to be annihilated under the terrifying temperature. Even the void was evaporated, unable to stop the divine ability of the Golden Crow ancestor. Behind it, 10 big suns stand side by side, showing unparalleled true fire, burning the world. Even in those star domains separated by a long sea of stars, countless creatures looked up at the sky and saw the 10 great suns standing side by side, as if the end of the world was coming, destroying everything. Oh my God, it's so hot. How could there be a vision of 10 days standing side by side in this world? I can't stand it anymore, my body is starting to catch fire. Who can shoot down those 10 suns? I don't know how many living beings are in panic, whether they are physical bodies or primordial spirits. This is the power of the Golden Crow. One anger can steam the sea of stars and destroy the stars. Stand together for 10 days and burn the world. But at such a terrifying Taoist vision, Qi Dao just looked at it indifferently, opened his arms wide, and used the powerful Taoist power to bend his bow and set an arrow out of thin air. In ancient times, Huyi killed 9 great gods in a row, but now I have a new supreme gold pin. Die. The 5 Qi Dao come together and draw the Taoist bow string to the full moon state. The moment the Taoist arrows exploded, 10 earth-shaking divine lights overwhelmed everything, making the great Tao tremble, as if it was about to be shot through. Kill. The ancestor of the Golden Crow was furious. Someone dared to bend a bow and shoot him with an arrow. Driven by its madness, the 10 great suns are even more terrifying and want to melt everything. At this moment, even Gu Tuo and others who were taking action not far away had to temporarily separate and hide aside. Otherwise, they will all be set on fire. This big sun is too terrifying. However, the 10 Taoist arrows were even more terrifying, directly piercing through the 10 great suns and then exploding violently. In the end, the 10 Taoist arrows turned into a single arrow, stunning the world, as if everything had stopped under this arrow. Boom! The ancestor of the Golden Crow had no way to hide, and was directly shot by this arrow. Poof! The hot holy blood of the Golden Crow ancestor spilled into the starry sky, still carrying terrifying power, melting the void. The second ancestor of Celestial Beast Palace was shot dead like this. When Great Tao whined, Gu Tuo and others reacted and were shocked to the extreme. Old Golden Crow, the man of ancient times, was shot dead in the starry sky. That's not even a real bow and arrow. It just relied on the power of Taoism to kill the Golden Crow ancestor. This is really going to change a lot. I feel like the world is going to be changed and everything will be overturned. Where is the ancestor of the Horned Dragon? It wants to avenge the ancestor of the Golden Crow. Many ancestors who witnessed this scene were shocked. After the news spread through the vast star domain, the universe was shocked. This is destined to be a day recorded in ancient history. Qi Dao has a majestic body. He can cross the sea of stars with every move he makes and kill the ancestor of the Horned Dragon. It's your turn. Aren't you plotting my ways? The opportunity is right in front of you. Come. Qi Dao went crazy, bathing in the holy blood of the Golden Crow Patriarch and killing the Horned Dragon Patriarch. Seeing this scene, the ancestor of Chulong was frightened. Where had he ever encountered such a vicious person? At this level, the longer it lives, the more afraid it is of death and will never leave the world easily. Who knew we would meet a freak like Qi Dao today? Are you really going to have a cause and effect with our Horned Dragon clan? You have to think clearly. The ancestor of Chulong was frightened, and while fighting Qi Dao, he fled from here. Qi Dao was chasing after him all the way from Gutuo star domain to another star domain. The terrifying aura scared the ancestors of that star domain and ran away. That's not what you said when you were confident that you were plotting my way. You sow the cause and effect yourself, and you will surely reap the results. Kill. Qi Dao refuses to give up and vows to kill this old dragon. Otherwise, who knows if he has the new system, everyone will step on him, and treat him as easy to bully. Qi Dao wants to make a name for himself and make those beings in the dark stop thinking. Boom. The Qi Dao Ming Palace was shaken again, and every god came out, representing the extreme state of the Ming Palace, and its strength was not much weaker than his own body. When Qi Dao's body and the 5 gods took action together, the terrifying divine light directly overwhelmed the ancestor of the Horned Dragon, almost causing it to fall apart. Asterisk. Ah, Qi Dao, if you don't let me live, you won't have a good life either. Everyone listen, Qi Dao has created a new system of Taoism, which can ignore the suppression of heaven and earth and have no fear of the end of the Dharma era. As long as you can kill him, you can inherit the new way and live in the world forever. The ancestor of the Horned Dragon roared in embarrassment, and his voice shocked the universe and was completely transmitted. Even in the most remote areas of the universe, there are beings who heard the sound at this moment. For a moment, the entire universe was in a state of commotion. Beings at the level of the holy life looked over at the sea of stars with blazing eyes. At this moment, the ancestor of Chulong laughed happily. Do you feel it? I'm going to make you the enemy of the whole world. It's not just the ancestors who are tempted, but those immortal beings who want to come out to hunt you down. There are even beings in the restricted area who want to come out to kill you and take away your Taoism. The ancestor of Chulong said, extremely vicious. It knew that it would be in serious danger if it was targeted by Qi Dao, and it might not be able to escape, so it simply informed everyone of the news. In this way, even if you don't know the truth or falsehood, someone will secretly verify the truth. However, it really underestimated Qi Dao's Taoist heart. If he can create a new system and reach the extreme ceiling, how can he be afraid of anyone? The whole world is an enemy. Then I will kill all the enemies in the world and walk on high blood and bones. If the end of the world starts a great chaos, I am willing to be the source of everything, subvert everything, and calm everything. Even if we fight for the rest of our lives, so what? Die, Qi Dao said coldly, using all means to kill the horned dragon ancestor. At this moment, the 5 gods of the Ming Palace all appeared, each sitting cross-legged in a position to fixate the ancestor of the Chulong, and then started refining. This is the true fire of the original Taoism of the new system. You can fully comprehend it before you die. This is everything you want. Qi Dao activated the origin of Taoism and trapped the huge ancestor of the horned dragon in the form of real fire. Ah! The ancestor of the horned dragon kept screaming. No matter how hard it tried, it could not get rid of the refining of the true fire. It clearly senses that its origin is passing away and its lifespan is approaching. One day later, Qi Dao completely refined the horned dragon ancestor and made it disappear into ashes. At the same time, there was a commotion in the universe, and countless terrifying beings appeared and cast their gazes. In the vast universe, there is a place called the Abyss. When the voice of the horned dragon ancestor passed by, the terrifying existence dormant inside opened its eyes. Its pupils are like stars, incorporated into a sea of stars, and its gaze seems to see through the universe, making the creatures who are stared at it feel inexplicably cold and tremble. Oh my God, it's the gaze of a half-immortal in the abyss of the earth. It seems that he is about to be born. He has been silent throughout the ancient times and has lived for eternity. I don't know how many people still remember his name. In the star domain near the abyss, an ancestor felt helpless and suffocated. At the same time, terrifying auras erupted from different places in the universe, wiping out countless stars. In the universe, a huge great demon mountain aimlessly crossing the starry sky also revived. The next moment, a living being saw an extremely terrifying demonic shadow in the sky, opened its mouth and swallowed a piece of star domain. Even the ancestors of the holy life level in it were 6, 3, 7, not let go. Did you create a new system? It's interesting. I'm here to hunt everything, and Dao's head is mine. He was roaring, shaking down countless stars, and the terrifying demonic power once again scared away several ancestors. Because they recognized this great demon head and were frightened in their hearts. The terrifying figure who single-handedly caused turmoil in the universe and the sea of stars in the early days of ancient times is known as the Demon King. He is actually still alive. In the Great War in ancient times, more than one half-step immortal figure surrounded him and failed to kill him. Some people recognized the origin of this heavenly demon shadow and trembled just by mentioning his name. Soon, there were ancestor-level figures who simply carried their ancestral stars and ran away, not daring to stay in the center of the universe. Because the battle at the level of half-immortality is too terrifying, and it can subvert everything, and the entire universe will be shaken by it. Not to mention that now several half-step immortal level terrifying beings are born at the same time. This is simply a catastrophic horror. And on that day, a powerful killing light penetrated the universe. Only half of the killing intent leaked in its path, causing the large star domain to shatter, and countless creatures died violently. Its terrifying murderous intent would make ancestor-level figures tremble with fear even from hundreds of millions of miles away. It seems to be someone from the Killing Path Temple. That's a place where killing proves the truth. Only one person among the tens of thousands of geniuses in each era can kill and survive. Therefore, the Killing Path Temple has been passed down by disciples since ancient times. There are only masters and disciples. This is one of the rare supreme powers that can exist in 2.5 steps of immortality. If it's true, he is Tu Tien, the only disciple of the Killing Path Temple today, and he is also a terrifying figure who has lived for more than 5 million years. He was also eyeing the person who created the new system, so he was born. The people of the Killing Path Temple have never made a single mistake in their attacks since ancient times. When that terrifying murderous aura passed through the sea of stars, some ancestor-level figures were frightened. Now we are in the most terrifying period of repression in the age of ending law, and Fat Bu Immortal will be completely born soon. However, because of the ancestor of the Chulong, these terrifying beings are rushing to join the world first, and no one wants to fall behind. This day is destined to cause a sensation. There are half-immortal beings in the universe who wake up one after another and look down at the universe. After Qi Dao completely refined the horned dragon ancestor, he rushed back to Gutuo Star Domain. During this period, it wasn't that he didn't hear the news, but he just didn't care. As soon as he approached Gutuo Star Domain, Qi Dao noticed the aura of extreme profundities in others. It turned out that after Qi Dao hunted down Ancestor Chulong, Ancestor Gutuo had already learned that extreme profundities and others were fanning the flames and told the news to Ancestor Chulong. It can be said that the origins of those half-step immortal beings who entered the world early are due to extreme profundities and others. Therefore, he tried his best to stop extreme profundities and make him pay the price. As for the others, they all left extreme profundities and ran away, and they didn't dare to stay here for long. Old guy, do you really want to die? Extreme profundities is angry. After the ancestor of Chulong was hunted down, he wanted to escape from here quickly, fearing that Qi Dao would suddenly come back. However, Patriarch Gutuo was too difficult to deal with, constantly blocking the starry sky, making it impossible for him to tear apart the void and escape. Even though most of Ji Yutuo's bones were broken and he coughed up blood, he didn't give up. Don't even think about leaving. It was you who caused me to be targeted by those half-step immortals. The cause and effect are all caused by you. I'm going to make you pay a big price. Ancestor Gutuo is roaring, his injuries are serious, and he is still overdrawing his source. This makes extreme profundities even more angry and impatient. Because a day had passed, he had a premonition that Qi Dao would be back soon. When the time comes, he will definitely die. Old guy, you die. So what if I was the one who told the news to Ancestor Chulong? Shouldn't the new system be mastered by everyone? Extreme profundities is furious and keeps taking action against the ancestor of Gutuo. But in the next second, the void of the universe above his head exploded, and the supreme pressure descended. Boom! Qi Dao grabbed it with one hand and time and space had already been frozen. No, extreme profundities is boundless in fear. In the face of such existence, there is no ability to resist at all, and Qi Dao directly took it into his hands. When Qi Dao's eyes fell on him, he felt cold all over and his scalp was numb. Grown-ups, this is the person who told the ancestor of Chulong about your creation of a new system. He is the culprit. Seeing Qi Dao appear, Ji Yutuo was extremely excited and said, he finally waited for Qi Dao to come back. Very good. Qi Dao looked expressionless as he looked at the extreme profundities in his hand. At this time, extreme profundities already knew that he was destined to die, and it was useless to say anything, so he just yelled. Come on, kill me, you won't be able to survive anyway. Now half-immortal people have been born, and they want to hunt you. I see how long you have to survive. In a few days, you will go to the underworld to accompany me. Ha 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 ha. Extreme profundities has a ferocious appearance and is heartbroken. In this regard, Qi Dao had no fluctuations in his heart, and his Taoist heart was never shaken by his words. Because he is not afraid of all opponents. That's what you said. If I don't kill you, I will use your origin as a candle and your primordial spirit as a fire to light up this universe. When the time comes, I will let you see everything I have subverted. Even if the entire universe is against me, I can kill them all. I step on the bones of saints to build the foundation of a new system. All of this starts with you and witnesses everything. Qi Dao said coldly. The next moment, he directly pulled out the origin of extreme profundities and the primordial spirit, refined it into a holy life candle, and lit it. The moment it lit up, Qi Dao's location was reflected in the entire universe, and everyone could see his huge back. Then, Qi Dao's gaze was like a torch, like two divine lights penetrating the boundless sea of stars, because it was so bright. I, Qi Dao, the founder of the new system, welcome the top experts from all walks of life to fight. It's a matter of life and death. Use the sacred destiny as a candle to reflect the universe, and actively declare war to achieve immortality. The universe is in complete shock. Grown-ups. You are a half-step immortal in the universe declaring war. When he saw Qi Dao reflecting on the entire universe and declaring war on those existences at the semi-immortal level, Ji Yutuo was so shocked that he was shaking all over. Just one half-step immortal is enough to overthrow the sea of stars and make everything come to nothing, let alone Qi Dao who is so powerful. This is to make enemies of all half-step immortals. It's a declaration of war. Since it cannot be avoided, then take the initiative to meet the enemy. I am not afraid of anything. Either I will completely die in the old way, or I will rise in the old way and step on the old way. Qi Dao said slowly. All kinds of causes and effects have been blessing him, and there is no way to avoid it. In other words, it is the only way to pass the new path. Even if you survive the catastrophe, there are still terrible opponents in the world, and there are still powerful people blocking your way. Only by challenging everything and standing out with a new way can he be above everything else, and no one will dare to challenge him. Grown-ups, Ji Yutuo is willing to follow you and challenge all enemies. Ji Yutuo immediately knelt down and worshipped. This was the only way he could repay Qi Dao. He had no regrets. On his ancestral star, the Stone Clan people were equally angry and expressed their willingness to follow Qi Dao to the death. Good. Qi Dao's eyes became more intense, looking into the distance, and gradually clenched his fists. At the same time, as he reflected and declared war on those semi-immortal beings who were making plans, all creatures in the entire universe were inexplicably shocked. No one expected that Qi Dao not only did not escape, but actually declared war on his own initiative, showing that he was not afraid of anything. Okay, the founder of the new system does have some courage. I hope you are as good as you said and don't be a coward. The demon lord who was on his way laughed with great joy, and the sound shook the nearby star domain. Then, he turned into a black light and killed directly in the direction of Qi Dao. He was only 2 or 3 steps away from the star domain. At the same time, Tu Tian, the only disciple of the Killing Path Temple, said nothing and increased his speed. In other directions of the universe, there are existences of half-immortality level appearing, killing in the direction of Qi Dao. This is a real hunt. It is impossible for any terrifying being at the level of half-immortal to survive in the face of so many powerful beings of the same level. In addition, in a certain remote area of the universe, there stands a terrifying continent, a forbidden area that has existed for endless years. On this day, there was a sensation in the restricted area, and a man covered in blood came out with a big stick. His aura was like a rainbow, like an ancient ferocious beast coming to life, his energy was so strong. Is there a founder of a new system of Taoism? Interesting, how could this be without me? Kill. Naturally, Qi Dao cannot wait where he is and let those half-step immortals come over to kill him. He has already torn the void with Ji Yutuo and directly arrived at the star domain where the Myriad Monsters Palace is located. After the death of the Horned Dragon ancestor, there must be something good left in the Celestial Beast Palace. Qi Dao is going to find some interest to pay back, which can be regarded as compensation for himself by the Horned Dragon ancestor. Celestial Beast Star Domain. This is a vast star domain, where the life is very prosperous, and most of the residents are monster race. After the death of the 2 ancestors of the Celestial Beast Palace, although the Celestial Beast Palace was seriously injured, it has not yet been targeted by hostile forces because there are still holy level beings in charge. However, when Qi Dao and Ji Yutuo arrived, everything changed. When the supreme pressure came, the entire star domain was in chaos, and countless stars fell like raindrops. Oh my God, what kind of aura is this? Why do I feel no weaker than a half-step immortal being? Is our old enemy from the Celestial Beast Palace here? In the star domain where the Celestial Beast Palace is located, countless monster race creatures are trembling and staring at the sky. And after the life being in the Celestial Beast Palace appeared, when I saw it was Qi Dao, I was so scared that my legs went weak. Nowadays, who doesn't know how powerful Qi Dao is, who dares to reflect on the entire universe and actively declare war on those terrifying characters who are half-immortal? Quick, the ancestral formation of resurrection protects the ancestral star, but Qi Dao is here to liquidate us. In the Celestial Beast Palace, the only 2 great saint ancestors immediately said in shock, their expressions changed. They had a premonition that their own Celestial Beast Palace would be in danger. Sir, do you want to erase the entire star domain? Ji Yutuo asked immediately. Anyway, he is willing to risk everything, so he has nothing to be afraid of. Anyway, if there are too many electrons, I won't be afraid of being bitten. Unexpectedly, Qi Dao shook his head and refused. Just kill the old monster at the holy life level, and let the other monster races fend for themselves. Qi Dao told Patriarch Gutuo that he did not want to cause so many killings. Moreover, as long as you kill the existence of the holy life level, others will naturally come to Celestial Beast Star Domain to find trouble. Yes, Ancestor Gutuo did not expect Qi Dao to be so kind, only targeting those ancestors with a holy life level. As he spoke, the ancestral formation in the Celestial Beast Palace had completely revived, and the light illuminated the entire star domain. Ancestor Gutuo originally wanted to take action, but was stopped by Qi Dao, because he saw that he could not break this ancestral formation. Immortal Transformation Sutra. Annihilation. Qi Dao stretched out his palm, and the life palaces in his body screamed, bursting out the original Dao method. At this moment, Qi Dao used terrifying power comparable to the level of half-step immortality. When the countless laws of the Immortal Transformation Sutra fell, the so-called ancestral formation in the Celestial Beast Palace was directly disintegrated, and everything was shattered into ashes. How can it be? The two ancestors of Celestial Beast Palace were immediately shocked. They knew they couldn't stop Qi Dao, but they didn't expect that they couldn't even stop the opponent's 10 palms. All existences at the holy life level will be destroyed, and the rest can live. Qi Dao declared everything coldly. The next moment, he took action again, and his palm that covered the sky fell directly into the Celestial Beast Palace, locking the two great saint ancestors. These are two horned dragons, both direct bloodlines of the horned dragon ancestor. We fought with you. Burn the origin of the holy way and summon the ancestral power of the bloodline. The two horned dragon ancestors seemed to have sublimated, and terrible secret power burst out from their blood. Boom. When the two great saint ancestors join forces, the destructive power is naturally considerable. But the opponent they faced was too terrifying, and the Dao ignored all the old Dao laws with just one hand. Die. When Qi Dao fell with his palm, the two great horned dragon ancestors were unable to stop him. A large area of the palace was smashed to pieces and turned into ashes on the spot. When the remaining little demons saw this, they all trembled and crawled on the ground. Fortunately, Qi Dao does not target them. It was at this time that Dao discovered a dragon bone hidden in the Celestial Beast's palace. That is a real dragon bone, genuine. Sir, that is a piece of dragon bone. Ji Yutuo was shocked, and then became excited. This Celestial Beast Palace was not in vain. A real dragon's bone is really good. I don't know what era it was left in, but there is still a terrifying blood energy contained in it, so take it. Qi Dao did not hesitate and took the real dragon bone away decisively. In this world, true dragons have long since disappeared, and they only appeared in extremely ancient times. Any true dragon can be said to be extremely powerful, representing supreme combat power. A piece of true dragon bone is naturally extremely precious. After Qi Dao took away the real dragon bone, he also extracted part of the bone marrow from the real dragon bone and gave it to Tantuo. You can use this part of the dragon marrow to repair the origin, and you can maintain your cultivation for a while. Qi Dao said. Now, he finally knew why a being of the level of half-step immortality was not born immediately. In dormant places like the Chulong Patriarch, there must be rich foundations that can support them to temporarily resist the oppression of the Age of Ending Law. For example, this dragon bone contains very rich dragon marrow essence, which is extremely precious and useful to even a half-step immortal being. It can protect half-step immortal beings and maintain their cultivation for a long time. Therefore, when Ji Yutuo received the dragon marrow, his hands were trembling and he was careful. Thank you, sir. Ji Yutuo was extremely excited, knowing that no matter how much he said thank you, it would be useless. Only by following Qi Dao, fighting for him, and making a difference would be true. Polite. Qi Dao waved his hand and continued to search the remaining areas of Celestial Beast Palace. Wherever he passed, the little monster race monsters were all extremely frightened, lying on the ground unable to even lift their heads. Who could have imagined that Qi Dao would do the opposite and come to the Celestial Beast Palace? Where is your ancestors' usual retreat? Qi Dao asked, grabbing a small horned dragon in his hand. In the Dragon Ancestor Hall, in that direction. The little horned dragon was so frightened that his mind went blank, and he told everything without Qi Dao asking him. Therefore, Qi Dao took Ji Yutuo directly to the direction of Longzhu Palace. The Dragon Ancestor Hall is located outside the Celestial Beast Palace. There is a stone statue of a real dragon standing there, which is very domineering. And because it is the place where the Chulong ancestor has been dormant all year round, the dragon energy in the dragon ancestral hall is very strong. Sir, there seems to be nothing here. After Ji Tuo searched around, he found nothing except the futon where Patriarch Chulong meditated on weekdays. However, Chi Dao's eyes were fixed on a real dragon picture hanging in the hall, and he could feel the terrifying power contained in the real dragon picture. This picture is not simple, Chi Dao said slowly, thoughtfully. Before Ji Tuo could react, he had already pointed his finger at the real dragon picture. Buzz. Injected by the power of the outside world, the true dragon picture was directly revived. A true dragon that looked proud of the 9 heavens descended with huge dragon power. Boom! The ancestral dragon palace was directly broken, and the huge real dragon claws burst out of the shattering void sky, creating a huge explosion of electricity. At this moment, the little demon in the celestial beast palace felt unprecedented pressure, which came from the true dragon picture. Oh my God! The pressure that is even more terrifying than that of the ancestor of the horned dragon comes from the bloodline. All the little demons were frightened. The true dragon is the ancestor of myriad monsters. Even just a trace of his true form is enough for all the monsters in the world. Even Chi Dao didn't expect that when the real dragon picture revived, there would be such a terrifying vision, as if a real dragon was really born. He is convinced that the real dragon in this true dragon map is left behind by some big trick. He cannot control the true dragon map unless he reaches the level of half-step immortality. Back off! Chi Dao protected Gutuo, and at the same time, the officials shouted in unison, constantly bursting out with the sound of Taoist scriptures. Hor! The true form of the dragon race that rushed out of the true dragon picture was so terrifying that it shattered the void with one claw and made the entire celestial beast palace tremble. It's not a real dragon. Let's see how ferocious you can be. Chi Dao took action and led the true dragon picture into the vast sea of stars. Time scripture. Fixed, unchanging, eternal. Chi Dao used the divine ability to freeze the time of the entire sea of stars, and the true dragon picture is no exception. Boom! After another confrontation, the true form of dragon race in the real dragon picture was directly punched to pieces, and light rain fell, accompanied by the real dragon's cry. Not far away, Ji Tuo was dumbfounded. That was the true form of dragon race, and it was the branded true dragon. However, Chi Dao was still fearless and exploded a wisp of true dragon form. This is the real subduing of the dragon. Hor! After all, the true dragon picture was not the real dragon here, and was directly suppressed by Chi Dao. The modeled light rain recondensed into a true dragon picture and fell into Chi Dao's hands. This is how you get a treasure. Congratulations, sir, for harvesting the true dragon picture, the most precious treasure of the horned dragon clan. Ji Tuo stepped forward and congratulated. There is no doubt that the power of a true dragon picture is very terrifying. It can be sustained for a certain period of time in Chi Dao's hands, and it has reached the point where it can kill ordinary holy beings. Chi Dao has more background and methods. Quote. This harvest is really good. This true dragon picture can help me defend against the enemy. However, they seem to have a second ancestor in the celestial beast palace, a golden crow. I wonder if there is anything good left. Chi Dao put away the true dragon picture Dao. Later, he and Ji Tuo returned to the celestial beast palace again. This time, Chi Dao's terrifying spiritual thoughts directly covered the entire celestial beast star domain, and he instantly found the palace where the three-legged golden crow usually retreats. It's here. When Chi Dao came, a group of little golden crows were so frightened that they turned around and ran away. And just when Chi Dao started to open the palace, a terrifying group of real sun fire suddenly burst out. This true sun fire is the power of pure yang in the world. A ray can transform into the sun and shine everywhere, let alone a ball, which is enough to melt a star domain. Seeing this scene, Ji Tuo's expression changed instantly. This is something that even the holy life level dare not resist. Receive. Chi Dao stands in front, no fear of the real fire of the sun. The next moment, one of the life palaces in his body flew out and swallowed up this pressure terrifying true sun fire. In just a moment, this true sun fire was refined and once again became a terrifying method for Chi Dao. At this point, the two major secrets in the Celestial Beast Palace have been completely searched out by Chi Dao, leaving only a group of panicked little monsters. As for their ending, that's not Qi Dao's concern. While the two were on their way back, Qi Dao suddenly felt something in his heart. He suddenly raised his head and looked into the depths of the starry sky. It was a powerful killing light. Go roar. Without saying a word, Qi Dao tore the void directly and stuffed Ji Yu Tuo into it. As soon as the crack in the void disappeared, a sword edge arrived with ultimate killing power. At first, a hint of edge was revealed, and it was unremarkable. Until it gets closer, the majestic killing power bursts out with the law. There is no extra power, and it must be killed with one blow. Kang. At this moment, it seems that there is only this sword left in the sky and on the earth. Slaughter the sky. The only current disciple of the Killing Path Temple is also a half-step immortal being. This Killing Dao Temple has always used killing to prove the Dao. It adopts the ultimate method of killing great Dao. It can be said that it has studied the art of killing to the extreme. Even if it is just an ordinary sword, it is extremely terrifying. What's more, this sword to kill the sky has been brewing for a long time, but it is a full blow, and it is going to seal Qi Dao's throat with one sword. Kang. When it finally broke out, the entire celestial beast star domain exploded, covered in inexplicable killing intent and sword intent, and hundreds of billions of creatures were buried under this sword. This is just the aftermath of a sword. Kill. Tu Tian only has one word: extreme indifference. Good means. One came so quickly. Qi Dao is also quite solemn, because this sword does have some strength and can vaguely threaten him. Time is displaced, the past and the present coexist. Qi Dao took action quickly, and the 5 life palaces were sublimated and shed immortal glory. At this moment, the rich power of time exploded, and the entire sea of stars was split into 2 visible to the naked eye. Among them, Tu Tian seemed to have returned to the distant past and came to kill with a sword from the past. The place where Qi Dao was established was the current world, with a long years between. A thin line is 1,000,000 years apart. This is the power of Time Sutra exerted to its extreme. What kind of method is this? Tu Tian was shocked and could clearly feel the changes around him. The edge of the sword in his hand was clearly only a few steps away from Qi Dao's throat, but it still couldn't pass through. Because this is no longer a distance in space, but a distance in time. There is 1,000,000 years difference between the two. How could they kill each other in the first place? Supreme killing. Sword cuts through the ancient path. Tu Tian reacted instantly. After all, he was a half-immortal figure. He did not struggle with this sword, but shattered the changing power of time around him. The next moment, he was directly freed from the influence of the Time Sutra and returned to the current world. However, his sword edge had moved away from Qi Dao's front, but was slapped down by Qi Dao's palm. Time comes and goes. Boom. This palm is still the scripture of time, exerting unparalleled power in the hands of Qi Dao, the founder. Sonorous. A palm and a sword collided, and Qi Dao directly blocked the sword in Tu Tian's hand with just the strength of his body. A sword of brief collision, this saint weapon is constantly reincarnated in decay and rebirth. In the end, Qi Dao flicked out his finger and directly broke the saint weapon. Zheng. The holy sword broke, and countless fragments swept into the depths of the universe, penetrating countless pieces of star domain. The scene was too terrifying. At the same time, Tu Tian was also forced to retreat, with a look of horror on his face. He became enlightened 5,000,000 years ago and was the only disciple of the Killing Dao Temple in the world. His cultivation was earth-shattering. But that's it. Even though he took action in advance, he failed to take down Qi Dao and instead lost several moves. This is the new Taoist system. Tu Tian raised his head and looked at Qi Dao sadly. After a brief confrontation, he realized the terror of Qi Dao. No wonder he could reflect the universe and declare war on all existences at the half-step immortal level. This is confidence in one's own strength. Qi Dao did not respond to his question, but his murderous intent became more intense. Avenge your life. I will not kill the unknown person. Qi Dao opened his mouth with an aloof temperament. He is not afraid of any opponent and can kill anyone who comes. This made Tu Tian feel a little suspicious. Who was going to hunt whom? He had the illusion that the roles were reversed. However, he quickly calmed down. In the Temple of Killing Dao, Tu Tian comes to take your life. I was indeed negligent just now. I didn't expect you to have some strength. It just so happens that I'm not good at using swords, so I'll kill you with this half-step immortal level killing dagger. Tu Tian said coldly. A fierce light flashed in his hand, and a finely carved dagger appeared, which was made of 9 kinds of black gold. This is not only a half-step immortal level BFCB terrifying law treasure, but also the inheritance of the Killing Path Temple. More than one holy being died under this dagger. It is also true that this dagger has just appeared, and the evil spirit it released has already suffocated the creatures of the blockbuster star domain. Tu Tian of the Killing Path Temple finally meets Qi Dao, who pioneered a new system. This is a confrontation between the strongest. But it seems that Tu Tian didn't take advantage of us in our first fight. Shish. Ancestor Tushan has even used the most precious treasure from the Killing Dao Temple. It is a half-step immortal weapon. It will take tens of thousands of years of warming and cultivation before it can transform into a truly immortal weapon. How can Qi Dao, who created the new system, compete with the opponent if he doesn't have a treasure of the same level? The war that just broke out has attracted the attention of many ancestors. Of course, those ancestors of a region only dared to watch from across the distant sea of stars and did not dare to get too close. Otherwise, a horrific confrontation at the level of half-immortal would involve them all, and then kill them instantly. I haven't let you bathe in the holy blood for how many years? This time, I will let you taste the holy blood of the founder of the new system and pave the road to immortality for you. Tu Tian gently touched the blade of the dagger with his palm, and took the initiative to cut his own palm, feeding the murderous dagger with the holy blood. Kang! In an instant, this semi-immortal treasure came to life, looking down at the world like a demon thirsting for blood. Kill, kill, kill. Prove the Tao through killing and kill all enemies in the world. This was the sound made by the killing dagger, and it also moved Tu Tian, making his eyes turn blood red, with only the terrifying murderous intent in his eyes. Whoosh! Tu Tian set off again, with a semi-immortal level treasure in his hands, and the strength he displayed was even more terrifying than before. Every blow was aimed at Qi Dao's neck and between his eyebrows. He has to resolve the battle quickly, otherwise, other half-immortal level terrifying beings will come. How can you fight against me if you don't have a treasure of the same level? Is it? With a hint of sarcasm, Qi Dao had only one action, which was to take out the real dragon bone and use it as a treasure to fight against the opponent's dagger. Although this is just a piece of real dragon bone, its strength is comparable to that of a half-step immortal saint weapon. When the ancestors in the distance saw Qi Dao using the real dragon bone as his most precious treasure, they were immediately dumbfounded. That is a real dragon bone, the only one that exists in the world, but Qi Dao uses it as an ordinary stick. Boom! Qi Dao used the real dragon bone as a stick to exert tremendous power, and even fully activated the dragon power in it. With every knock, some more dragon race scriptures will appear on the real dragon bone, vaguely like a real dragon resurrecting. If the real dragon bone slowly recovers, it is really not weaker than the killing dagger. In the end, the terrifying collision between the two directly tore apart the sea of stars, turning the entire star domain directly into an extremity domain, and everything was annihilated. How can it be? Where did you get the real dragon bone? After several collisions, Tu Tian's face turned extremely ugly, and the hand holding the killing dagger was trembling. The real dragon bone is so hard that it has reached a level that can compete with the half-step immortal saint weapon, without undergoing any sacrifice. If it is refined a little, the real dragon bone will definitely be even more terrifying. What made Tu Tian jealous the most was the dragon marrow inside the true dragon bone. Every drop of it was a precious liquid that could help people maintain their cultivation, and its value was immeasurable. Qi Dao used a real dragon bone to hammer him, clearly showing disdain. Are you surprised? Ancestor Chu Long gave it to me. Don't tell me, it's really good to use as a weapon. Qi Dao snorted coldly and weighed the real dragon bone in his hand. Both the feel and the impact were very good. What surprised him most was that this real dragon bone had dragon race's scriptures revived on it. While he was taking action, he could also comprehend dragon race's ancestral skills. Tu Tian's face became even colder, feeling extremely troubled. Qi Dao's strength itself was beyond his expectation, and now that there is another piece of real dragon bone in Qi Dao's hands, it has completely exceeded his expectation. If this delay continues, the Demon Lord and others will come. We can't delay it any longer. It will take some time for Master to wake up and arrive. The Demon King and the others will definitely arrive first. It must be ended immediately and the Tao of the new system can be obtained. Tu Tian thought to himself, his eyes becoming more and more sinister. After fighting with Qi Dao, he had seen the glowing life palace in Qi Dao's body many times, which contained the immortal source of Taoism, which made him very tempted. He can be sure that as long as he obtains any one of these palaces, he will be able to withstand the oppression of the Age of Ending Law. Thinking of this, Tu Tian had already prepared a killing blow, and his body gradually disappeared in front of Qi Dao, without any breath at all. Tu Tian proves his way by killing. Just like an assassin, he pays attention to defeating the enemy with one move. In other words, he is not good at head-on collisions, and now he has truly begun to reach his peak. The way to kill has no boundaries. Tu Tian's cold and murderous voice sounded in the universe. At this moment, even though they were dozens of star domains apart, the ancestors of the holy life level felt the murderous intent coming like a tide, which made the primordial spirit frightened and made his scalp numb. The calmer the universe is, the stronger this murderous intention will be. The supreme killing technique of the Killing Temple can turn tens of billions of miles of the universe into a terrifying realm. In it, General Tu Tian will become one with the treasure in his hand, showing a stunning edge. In ancient times, Tu Tian's master used this technique to kill a half-step immortal terrifying figure who also had a treasure in his hand with one blow. The universe seemed to be divided into two. I didn't expect that this powerful T technique would appear. Hurry up and stay away. The remaining power of this sword can cut you and me in pieces. Even the existence of half a step of immortal level must be weighed. Those old monsters who had lived for a long time were afraid and ran away with their ancestral stars, not daring to watch the battle at all. At this point, ordinary ancestors at the holy life level are no longer qualified to watch the battle. And in the center of Qi Dao, everything was dead silent, and all the sounds disappeared. Only the terrifying and strong murderous intention overwhelmed him like Wang Yang. This killing technique can kill half a step of immortality, it is absolutely true. It's interesting. You can kill half a step of immortality and disappear without a trace under my nose. Where will it come out? Qi Dao opened his Dharma eyes, but found that it was useless. The opponent has completely integrated into the big universe, and it is possible to attack from any direction. This is the true supreme way of killing. The reason why Tu Tian didn't attack immediately was because he wanted to use his terrifying killing intent to break down his opponent's fighting spirit and gradually make Qi Dao's psychological defense collapse. Once Qi Dao reveals a flaw, a killing blow will strike with precision. Boom! In the vast universe, with the passage of time, the stars in the large star domain have begun to shatter under the cover of murderous intent, as if they were silently chopped open with a knife. All this is shocking. However, Qi Dao is not affected by the external environment at all. He stood quietly in the sea of stars, waiting for Tu Tian to come out. As expected, Tu Tian waited for a while but didn't see any flaws in Qi Dao, so he couldn't help but feel a little anxious. It's him who can't afford to be held back now. Kill! Tu Tian suddenly broke out and couldn't wait any longer. Zheng! A sharp edge became the only light in the universe, and at this moment it seemed like the entire universe was divided into two halves. And above the knife, a billowing murderous intent emerged, evolving into a terrifying scene of the universe withering and everything being slaughtered. Prove the way by killing, cut with one sword. Tu Tian's voice burst out from the blade. He merged with the killing dagger, became extremely powerful, and pointed directly at Qi Dao's eyebrows. Within a distance of less than 10,000 miles, this is the most suitable time to kill. At this moment, even Qi Dao felt a sting between his eyebrows, being locked in advance. The immortal palace comes to the world, Dao and Law are unified, suppressing everything. Qi Dao reacted, was prepared in advance, and also used terrible methods. As soon as this method was used, a life palace in his body rushed out of his body, and it stood out in the big universe, just like a real immortal palace breaking through the immortal world. At this moment, under the vibration of this truly manifested life palace, the suppression of the universe was actually a bit weaker. Oh my God, is that the source of all Taoism? Why do I feel that the age of ending Dharma is ending and everything is possible? This method is too terrifying. It is just one of the immortal palaces in his body. What a terrifying scene it would be if 5 fairy palaces came together. Will the universe be restarted? Some ancestor-level figures were extremely shocked when they felt this energy. Boom! The immortal palace fell directly, and every ray of immortal energy hanging down from it was the purest source of Taoism, suppressing everything. This blow really seemed to restart the universe, breaking the boundaries of the rules of time. Both ancient and modern times have appeared, and the sun has become chaotic and hazy. Ha 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 ha, this is mine. Tu Tian seemed to be going crazy at this moment. What he wanted was Qi Dao's life palace. He didn't expect that Qi Dao would take the initiative to manifest a life palace. He directly turned around and wanted to intercept this immortal palace. In response, Qi Dao snorted coldly and squeezed it with both hands. How could his life palace be taken away so easily? Boom! The immortal palace completely erupted, as if it brought a world of suppression down, forcing Tu Tian directly from the state of unity. Ah! Tu Tian's eyes turned black. Even a body as strong as his could not stop it and was about to explode. Looking again at the immortal palace, a man exactly like Qi Dao walked out, with a majestic appearance and reciting Taoist scriptures. In a head-to-head confrontation, Tu Tian was defeated directly, shocking the world. Chapter 71. Like a fairy palace, the life palace has broken through its limits and descended directly into the current world. In just a moment, the conflict between the old and new Taoism manifested itself in the universe. Thousands of laws collided, and the ocean of Taoism surged. At this moment, the universe is crumbling. Oh my God! Is this a direct collision between the old and new Taoist systems? The emergence of the new system of Taoism directly conflicts with the laws of the world. Now the rules of the world are constantly emerging, trying to suppress the new system of Taoism. The Tao of the new system wants to break through the shackles of the old Tao and transform, and truly come to the world. That large area of the sea of stars in the universe is evolving life and death, past, present and future. Even a half-immortal being in it will definitely be robbed. The ancestors in the distance all felt this terrible fluctuation, because it involved a lot, and the Taoism of the entire universe was transformed into a divine chain of order. It was necessary to wipe out Qi Dao's obvious power, transform the life palace of this world. However, Qi Dao is personally in charge, and the 4 major life palaces in his body are still blessing him from afar, fighting against the old ways. Ah! At this moment, the most painful thing was Tu Tian. His physical body was squeezed into the whirlpool of the old and new Taoist systems, and the laws in his body were constantly reincarnating, from rebirth to death, and from death to rebirth. He was in immense pain, as if he was going through reincarnation. As for his half-step immortal level killing dagger, it is now also involved, and it has begun to transform into a Tao in the collision of old and new Taoisms. Suppress and kill. So what if the old path appears? It will be difficult to stop me. Today, I will kill another half-immortal. Qi Dao snorted coldly, pressed the seal with both hands, and suppressed Tu Tian's Ming Palace to become even more dazzling. When the origin of thousands of Taoist laws fell, Tu Tian's body exploded directly, and the primordial spirit fled in panic, trying to stay away from this land of right and wrong. At this moment, even he was frightened. Because this has completely evolved into a collision between the old and new Taoist systems, transcending the laws and involving the confrontation between the origin of heaven and earth. The new Taoist system has really fully achieved great accomplishment. This child has fully grown up and is not afraid of the suppression of the world. I'm not willing to give in. Tu Tian shouted, his voice shaking the entire star domain. It has been 5 million years since he became a Taoist, and he has always been aloof. He even achieved Taoism through killing, and his cultivation is so great that it is difficult to defeat him. But now, he has been suppressed by Qi Dao, and has even been involved in the confrontation between the old and new Taoist systems. I didn't say you could leave. I've said it before, it's a matter of life and death. You're here, so why don't you stay too? Qi Dao is cold and ruthless at this moment, treading on the old path and forcefully going retrograde. Boom! Even more terrifying rules of Taoism broke out, and there was a collision of immortal light between the old and new systems, evolving everything in opening heaven. At this moment, the catastrophe of the old way is rolling, which is the embodiment of the supreme rule. Chaos Sutra. Destroy. Qi Dao punched, and the terrifying punch directly broke a hole in the universe, and all the old thunder tribulation was reduced to nothing under this punch. At the same time, Qi Dao is also chasing Tu Tian's primordial spirit. Killing dagger. Hold him. Tu Tian was completely frightened. What kind of terrifying existence had he provoked? After the suppression of that fairy palace, he no longer had any thoughts. How could he still dare to plot? He even had a terrible illusion that Qi Dao had surpassed everyone in this universe, and no one was his opponent. Zheng, the killing dagger that barely blocked the path of transformation moved, and the shattering void came out of the air, making a silent sneak attack behind Qi Dao. Then, Qi Dao did not need to look back, the spiritual platform glowed, and the god who stepped out punched the dagger away. Suddenly, the half-step immortal level dagger trembled, and many cracks appeared on the blade. Suppression. Qi Dao ignored the Dao-killing dagger and took action again, using the manifested Ming Palace to forcefully open up Wang Yang, the rule of the old Dao, and kill directly behind Tu Tian. No, fellow Daoist, show mercy, said Riki. Tu Tian was so frightened that his scalp was numb. Now that he only had primordial spirit left, how could he fight against Qi Dao? I said, come here, but leave your life behind. Die. Qi Dao used the Immortal Transformation Sutra, waved his fist and smashed it down. Without any suspense, Tu Tian's primordial spirit was directly killed, and disappeared into ashes under this punch, no longer existing. The only disciple in the world of Sha Daoli died. In an instant, the sea of old rules boiled, and an extremely real human face appeared dripping with blood and tears. This is the death of the holy destiny. Seeing this, Qi Dao destroyed everything with one punch, dispelling the vision of the holy life's fall. At this moment, everything is over. Qi Dao has regained control of the life palace, letting the boiling sea doctor of the old rules rule. Kindness, can I let you run away? The moment Qi Dao stopped, he noticed that the half-step immortal level dagger broke through the air, obviously going back to the temple of killing Dao. For such a treasure, Qi Dao naturally cannot let it go easily. Boom! Qi Dao tore the shattering void into the air and chased after him across 1,000,000,000 miles in one step. Feeling Qi Dao's murderous intent, even this fierce weapon was afraid. The blade trembled and sent out waves, begging Qi Dao to let him go. Stop it yourself, otherwise don't blame me for beating you up. Qi Dao is domineering and powerful. He holds a real dragon bone stick and can really smash this vicious weapon into pieces. Hearing this, killing Dao dagger decisively stopped. This time he was obedient. How could he still dare to struggle? It has grown to this point, given birth to spiritual intelligence, and can kill the ancestors of the holy life level on its own, but it doesn't want to be blown away by Qi Dao. You know the truth. Qi Dao caught it in one fell swoop, and then refined all the imprints and auras of the Killing Path Temple on the dagger's blade. From this moment on, this dagger changed hands. Qi Dao has another half-step immortal level treasure in his hands. And at the moment when Qi Dao succeeded in refining the killing dagger, a blood-red palace shook in the universe, and a shocking aura came from it. Tu Tian, my disciple, and my dagger from the temple of killing Dao. Qi Dao, right, I'm going to crush you to ashes. This is the ancestor of the Killing Path Temple and Tu Tian's master. He has lived for a long time and has a great background. At the same time, Qi Dao, who was just about to adjust his condition, encountered a black hand. Suddenly demonic clouds billowed above his head, and a hand as big as a star reached down and slapped Qi Dao's Tianling cap. In addition, there is a scepter in front of Qi Dao with eternal divine light, which is thrown from a long distance by a half-step immortal. At this moment, two terrifying and powerful men at the level of half-immortal came, both wanting to take Qi Dao's life. However, what surprised Qi Dao was that the black hand above his head changed direction and directly hit the flying scepter, knocking it away. Then, a terrifying demonic shadow burst into the sea of stars and roared. The life of the founder of the new system belongs to my demon Chong, no one can take it from me. This is the Lord of the Demon Ridge, the Demon Dome. Demon Lord, a terrifying figure who became enlightened in the early days of ancient times. He once caused a sensation in the entire universe. He was chased by several terrifying figures at the level of semi-immortal and he was able to survive. It's really hard to imagine what level of cultivation he has reached now. The appearance of the demonic dome surprised even the half-immortal level beings, so they were very cautious. It is said that the Demon Lord created the 9 transformations of Demon Tao. After completing the 9 transformations, you can peek into the imperishable realm. Now, what kind of strength does he have? Some ancestors are deeply afraid of such a person. After all, he is a being who can create magic. Both his talent and talent are extremely amazing. Not long after the Demon Dome appeared, the owner of the scepter also appeared, a skinny old man. He crossed the endless sea of stars and arrived here in one step. His body was filled with lifeless energy, but no one dared to look down upon him. This is also a terrifying figure with great background. Who do I think you are? It turns out to be the Lord of the Abyss. You are such an old guy and you still want to join the world to fight with me. When Mo Chong spoke, he naturally would not have any respect for anyone. He has always been the only one who respects me. What? It's actually the Lord of the Abyss. This is a terrifying figure from before the ancient times. I only heard his name in the ancient times. This is a truly living fossil-level figure. Is his cultivation about to break through immortality? An ancestor was shocked when he heard Mo Chong tell the origin of this person. Come to resist the Taoism in the age of Dharma ending. If you live for another 1,000,000 years, you can achieve immortality in this world. The Lord of the Abyss spoke, his calm tone containing terrifying confidence. As soon as these words came out, it naturally stirred up 1,000 waves and shocked the ancestors. Is there really someone in the world who has gone to this step and achieved immortality in the world? However, Demon Chong laughed crazily when he heard this, and his tall and straight demon body carried Demon Tao's mighty power in every move. After laughing, Mo Chong's face turned cold. Are you kidding? A being who has lived in the restricted area for more than one era cannot achieve immortality in the era when the immortal gate disappears. Who are you? It's better to let me ferry you to Demon Tao this time, and you will be truly transcendent from now on. When Demon Chong opens his mouth, there are really no restrictions. After hearing this, the Lord of the Abyss looked calm, without any ups and downs in his emotions. The old man came here for the new system of Taoism, and his days are numbered. Who is talking to you? The Lord of the Abyss snorted coldly. This shocked the ancestors in the distance. Could it be that this ancestor who has lived for a long time really has a short lifespan? Otherwise, why would you be so anxious to get the new system of Taoism to extend your longevity? Fellow Taoist, lend me your life. The Lord of the Abyss took action directly, with great cruelty. He came with a scepter and smashed open the boundless sea of stars with a light blow. Boom! Qi Dao just took advantage of this time to calm down a little, and immediately swung the real dragon bone in his hand and smashed it. The moment the scepter collided with the real dragon bone, more than a dozen star domains were directly annihilated by the terrifying power of half-immortal level. And this is just the collision between the two. After the blow, both Qi Dao and the Lord of the Abyss had some judgments about the opponent's strength. If Tu Tianxai had just achieved half-step immortality and was still a dazed young man, then the Lord of the Abyss in front of him was a real old monster whose cultivation was truly unfathomable. At the same time, in the heart of the Lord of the Abyss, he also had a clear judgment about Qi Dao. You are very strong. You are worthy of being the founder of the new Taoism system. No one can compare with you on this path. If we continue to fight, I will die, but I am willing to fight with my life. The Lord of the Abyss spoke without any concealment. As soon as these words came out, the universe was shocked. A terrifying figure who has lived for who knows how many years frankly admits that he is not as good as Qi Dao, a rising star, and will die if he is beaten. What kind of monsters are these? Does the founder of the new system really want to subvert everything? Even the Lord of the Abyss said so. Are we really going to witness a future? Ha ha ha. You useless old man, you are indeed too old. You can't even beat a junior. You should have died long ago. Stay away from me. After I kill Qi Dao, I will come and kill you, an old man. What does the founder of a new system mean to me, the Demon Dome? Watch me raise my palm to kill him. There is no pride in the magic dome, no one. As soon as he finished speaking, he turned his head and slapped Qi Dao. Boom! The demonic energy is billowing, transforming into a world of silence, and the terrifying corrosive force falls directly, trying to destroy Qi Dao's spiritual thoughts first. What a loud tone, do you deserve it? You all come together, otherwise you won't have a chance. Qi Dao is not afraid of any enemy. He has already reached the ceiling of the new system, and his Taoism has reached its extreme, compared with the limits of the old Taoism. However, for now, he has not met anyone who can cultivate the old way to the extreme, so naturally no one can be his opponent. Time is confused, ancient and modern coexist. Qi Dao used the Time Sutra again, and still has the divine ability today. In an instant, the positions of the two of them changed dramatically. One stood in ancient times, and the other stood in this world. Good idea. After you wait for me to kill you, you will have to practice your time scriptures carefully. Demon Chong laughed and said, going crazy. The magic power of great accomplishment was shaken, and the shackles of the Time Sutra were broken. Then, he fought in front of Qi Dao and directly used the power of the demon's body to fight him at close range. My demonic body has transformed 9 times and is already comparable to immortality. Let's see how long you can hold on. Demon Chong Dao, what he is talking about is naturally the 9 transformations of Demon Dao that he created. After a long time, he has really transformed successfully. In this regard, Qi Dao Gujing Wubo, while guarding against the Lord of the Abyss, fought against the demon dome with his bare hands. At this moment, the two of them collided with their strongest bodies. A great Dao based on flesh and blood and developed into flesh and blood. A creation demon Dao 9 changes, the body transformed 9 times. Boom! In the blink of an eye, the two of them fought for more than 1,000 rounds, from this star domain to dozens of star domains. Sweeping across them along the way, the terrifying blood energy of the two of them caused a large sea of stars to explode, and countless creatures died miserably. Happy. Demon Dao 9 changes. Demon Chong laughed loudly and used his magic skills, and 9 identical versions of him suddenly appeared. If you add the real body, there are 10 identical Demon Chong. These are all the shells left over from my 9 transformations. Each body is extremely powerful. How can you compare with me? Demon Chong shouted, taking action together with his 9 bodies, measuring the power. A demon dome is already terrifying to the extreme, let alone now that he has displayed all his transformed body. At this moment, 10 terrifying demonic bodies penetrated the sky and the earth, crowding out more than a dozen star domains. Countless stars were nothing more than pebbles compared to the demonic dome's body. Seeing this scene, even the Lord of the Abyss shrank his pupils and came up every time. The physical power of these 10 demonic bodies is indeed terrifying to the extreme. The black demon race energy and blood is just emitted, and it has already eroded the vast universe, and countless creatures died violently. Countless creatures are screaming. Even the ancestors were so scared that no one dared to stay near this star domain. Ha ha ha. Demon Dao reaches the sky. I am the only one who is supreme. After the 9 transformations, I already have the gift of immortality. Today, I will pave my supreme Demon Dao with the blood of the founder of your new system. Kill. Demon Chong roared. His madness reached the extreme, and the 9 bodies and his body took action together. Boom. 10 magic fists exploded, and the void of the universe was exploded by just the physical power. The power carried by those fists could no longer be measured in kilograms. Seeing such a terrifying blow, Qi Dao was still unafraid. He cast Law Manifestation, and the 5 palaces of life glowed, and the source of Taoism continued to bless his body. At this moment, Qi Dao seemed to have transformed into a war immortal wearing immortal armor, holding a real dragon bone stick, and fought against Yuzun Moyu. So what if I have more bodies? I am the only one who can kill them all. You are not my opponent yet. Qi Dao drinks in a low voice, and his breath becomes more and more transcendent. Boom. The terror war breaks out. All ancestor-level figures, even if they are separated by dozens of star domains, can see that majestic immortal body fighting against 10 great demon bodies at the same time. This is like a great showdown between immortals and demons, one immortal fighting 10 demons. Oh my God, is there really someone in the world who has made it this far, and can actually fight against 10 bodies of the same level by himself? That Demon Chong became a Taoist in the early years of ancient times, practiced for a long time, and has been following the path of demon body transformation, but he was unable to defeat his opponent in the first time. I dare to say that among the most powerful people at the semi-immortal level, no one can challenge the demon dome alone at the level of flesh and blood. That is asking for death. But now someone has really done it. Is the founder of the new system really so terrifying? What kind of system did he create? The voices of many ancestors were trembling, and they were sweating even though they were separated by such a long distance. Even the nearest Lord of the Abyss was filled with surprise at this moment. That figure that looked like a war fairy was really too weak. This is the only person in the world whose talent is astonishing in the past and today. If I take action, I'm afraid it will be difficult to change the outcome. The Lord of the Abyss hesitated, weighing everything in his mind. He lived for a long time, and after receiving a sword from heaven in the age of Dharma, most of his lifespan was cut off. He really couldn't hold on any longer. Nowadays, he cherishes his life very much, carefully calculating every step, and will never take action before he is completely sure. At the same time, he didn't think about helping Qi Dao. Maybe he could form a good relationship and get some opportunities. However, he had revealed his murderous intention towards Qi Dao before, and everything was irreversible. There will be a few old guys coming soon, so I'd better sit back and watch the storm for now. Judging from the number of half-step immortals known in the world today, we should be able to defeat him outnumbered. The Lord of the Earth Abyss was calculating in his mind, and then he entered the cause of the void first. At this moment, the battle between Qi Dao and Demon Chong has entered a fierce stage. The two of them fought all the way, and countless star domains were destroyed. Many places were turned into extinct domains, and not even the Great Dao survived. I said you are no match for me, that's not enough. The real dragon swings its tail. Qi Dao opened and closed, the blood was boiling at this time, and he let go completely. In his hand, the real dragon bone stick shines brightly, and the dragon power on it has been fully unleashed under Qi Dao's urging. Every time the stick is struck, Great Dao wails. In a head-to-head encounter, one of Demon Chong's demonic bodies was directly destroyed by Qi Dao with a real dragon bone stick. The ancestors were all horrified. Qi Dao is really terrifying. He fought against 10 great demons alone and was able to kill one of them. His combat power is astonishing. However, what is even more irritating is that Mo Chong is not angry but smiling. He is not afraid that Qi Dao will blow up one of his demon bodies. It seems more like he is following his will. Ha ha ha, I forgot to tell you that the supreme meaning of my 9 transformation demon Dao is to unite the 9 bodies into one and complete the ultimate transformation. Every death of a demonic body will return its origin to its original form. The more I fight, the stronger I get, and in the end I complete my ultimate transformation. How are you going to fight me? The true form of Demon Dome laughed. As soon as the words came out, it was even more frightening. The death of the demon body will cause the origin to return to the original body, and finally lead to the ultimate transformation. How far will that go? Unimaginable. ... Then come and try it. So what if I help you achieve your ultimate transformation? Qi Dao is fearless. At this moment, his body seemed to be sublimated, and every realm he opened was perfectly blessed with the power of flesh and blood, and his power was still skyrocketing. Especially for the 5 major life palaces, the origin of Taoism was born from flesh and blood, and now it has returned to the physical body, making Qi Dao's body a true embodiment of the origin of Taoism. Now, when Qi Dao takes action, every move is no longer purely physical power, but the supreme Taoism, inseparable from flesh and blood. The flesh is the Dao, and the Dao is the flesh. Boom. Qi Dao is extremely confident, with the new system of Taoism in his fists and palms. In a moment, the second demon body was beheaded by Qi Dao again, cleanly and neatly, even more terrifying than at the beginning. Seeing this scene, Mo Chong, who was still laughing just now, felt his heart skip a beat. Could it be that Qi Dao still had some tricks he hadn't used yet? Use my demonic blood to lend away to God. Demon Chong used his monstrous magic power to forcefully induce the rules of the Great Dao Qian Nujiao to be blessed on himself and the other 7 demon bodies, and their combat power also skyrocketed. However, even so, he is still no match for Qi Dao. The 7 demon bodies plus his true body make a total of 8 demons, but they can't shake Qi Dao at all. In front of him, Qi Dao was like a war fairy, showing extremely terrifying fighting power. He sometimes used the Time Sutra and exploded with boxing skills to reverse the time and space kingdom. Sometimes he uses the Sutra of Chaos to bless the physical body and destroy everything. Even after knowing that Demon Chong would finally transform, Qi Dao did not hesitate to kill his demon body. Come on, let me see how you transform. I'll give you this chance. Qi Dao punched through 2 demonic bodies, and smashed the head of the other demonic body with his palm. In a short period of time, Qi Dao killed 3 great demon bodies in a row. In addition to the 2 great demon bodies he killed before, 5 demons were already beheaded. Although Demon Chong's strength is indeed improving, he is inexplicably frightened at this time. The 5th demon body of Demon Chong has been beheaded. Does that person really have such terrifying strength? Why do I feel like the demon dome is about to lose its hold? Impossible. Demon Chong's aura is improving, and his strength can be further improved. He is using the hands of Qi Dao to complete the ultimate transformation. How could Qi Dao not know? He seems to be doing it on purpose. I don't know how many pairs of eyes are staring at this place. This battle has just begun. Roar, fight again. Demon Chong swept away the brief doubt in his heart, and his aura surged again. With a roar, the stars in the sky fell. I use Demon Dao to transcend flesh and blood and walk the path of immortality. I am invincible to flesh and blood and unparalleled in the world. Demon Dome went crazy, and even more terrifying Demon Dao laws erupted from his body to bless his flesh and blood. At this moment, a terrible vision appeared next to his body, including the demonized Pixiu, Chongqi, and Bifan. There was even a demonic dragon that appeared, which was transformed by the energy and blood in his body, and now it was overwhelmingly killing Qi Dao. Boom! Qi Dao was fearless and faced him directly with the real dragon bone in hand. In addition, the true dragon picture he had previously obtained also appeared, directly evolving into a true dragon manifesting itself. For a moment, the dragon's power surged and suppressed the entire universe. Oh my god, this is a real dragon picture passed down from the ancestors of the Chulong clan. It is said that it has gone through more than one era, and now it is actually obtained by Qi Dao. That real dragon seems to have truly come alive. At this moment, more than a dozen ancestor-level figures were shocked. Have you ever seen such a scene before? A true dragon burst out in the universe, fighting against the demonic body of the demonic dome, directly wiping out those manifested visions, killing the sun and the moon until there was no light, and the stars were dimmed. Mainly, with the blessing of Qi Dao's original Taoism, this true dragon picture has been supplemented with the purest form, so that the power of the true dragon picture can be exerted to the maximum extent. Nowadays, this true dragon too is simply Qi Dao's right-hand man, and his strength is no less than that of Demon Chong's demon body. Roar! The real dragon flew across the sky and fought with a demon body from the Demon Chong. The sun's claws directly scratched the body's chest and exploded. The power of the true dragon is revealed in this short moment. This is the ancestor of myriad monsters. Boom! At the same time, Qi Dao waved the real dragon bone in his hand, and with the same rough and simple action, he fought with the demon BFCI Chong's body, causing his arm to break and the demon blood to spill into the starry sky. Ah, how dare you accept the treasure and fight me physically? Demon Chong was beaten and retreated steadily, unable to stop Qi Dao at all. He found that he had underestimated Qi Dao too much. The opponent's strength became more and more terrifying as he fought, reaching the point where he could not touch him. Are you afraid? If I weren't wary of others, I would have killed you long ago. Qi Dao said forcefully, completely ignoring what the other party said. He came here to kill, not to compete with the other party. How could he follow the other party's ideas? What's more, in the previous battles, Demon Chong was already inferior and was no match for him. At the moment, Qi Dao is wary of the Lord of the Abyss who may appear at any time, while fighting against the Demon Dome. It is inevitable that he will be a little distracted and unable to exert his full strength. Otherwise, would Mo Yu still have a chance to scream here? Shameless talk. I single-handedly created Demon Dao, which is unparalleled in the world. Demon Chong roared like crazy, completely erupting at this moment. Boom! He killed the last demonic body around him, and then swallowed the origin into his body. So far, the 9 great demon bodies he has transformed into have transformed into their original forms and integrated into his body. Then, as he said, the ultimate transformation begins. Ha 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 ha! Mo Chong laughed, extremely excited. At this moment, he is sublimating, constantly condensing the power of the great Tao of heaven and earth, in order to truly transform his demonic body into an immortal level body. He is fighting, so what if I give you a chance? Let's see how far you can go. Chi Dao held the real dragon picture and the real dragon bone and looked at this scene indifferently. At the same time, he sensed the Lord of the Abyss hiding in the void. As a cold snort sounded, the Lord of the Abyss was forced out by Shinto. You should come too, otherwise you won't have a chance. Chi Dao took one step forward and came to the Lord of the Abyss like a rainbow. At this moment, his eyes were like torches, like two magic lamps in the universe. They were so bright and blazing that even the Lord of the Abyss did not dare to look at each other. At this point, the Lord of the Abyss also knows that his battle is inevitable and cannot be avoided. I understand. The Lord of the Abyss spoke calmly. As he spoke, his skinny body quickly transformed into a handsome young man again, with an extremely powerful aura. Lord of the Abyss, a terrifying existence beyond ancient times, this is actually his true form. The Lord of the Abyss has returned to the universe in his peak form, causing a sensation in all directions. The next moment, the battle between Chi Dao and the opponent broke out. The scepter in the hands of the Lord of the Abyss is made from the trunk of an ancient tree that reaches the sky. It is solid and immortal. His scepter glowed, and its power was fully unleashed by the Lord of the Abyss. At this moment, a huge tree that reached the sky appeared in the universe, with the void as its root. Boom! A branch fell down, and the universe was directly torn apart. The sea of stars within billions of miles was turbulent and exploded under the blow of this ancient tree. Chi Dao did not resist the blow, seeing the power of this ancient tree. Once poked, a large amount of the essence in the body will be drained. Now, the ancient tree that reaches the sky is attacking him while taking root in the void, constantly extracting the power of the sea of stars in the universe. The star domain is shattering hundreds of millions of miles away, and it withers into a dead domain in an instant. Countless creatures have died under the methods of the Lord of the Earth and Abyss, turning them into his original nourishment. After escaping the blow, Chi Dao rushed forward with the true dragon bone in hand, intending to directly kill the Lord of the Earthly Abyss behind the ancient tree. However, the Tongtian ancient tree is too huge, with countless swaying branches, and each leaf on it carries a star domain. It is completely blocked in front of Chi Dao, which is extremely difficult. After a brief collision, Chi Dao knew in his heart that the Lord of the Abyss was indeed an old guy who had lived for endless years. He indeed had some tricks that made it impossible for him to capture him in the first place. At the same time, the transformed demon dome began to suffer. If you want to achieve ultimate transformation, you must survive the baptism of the world. Then, this is the end of the Dharma era, and once the heavenly catastrophe is triggered, it will be the most terrifying suppression. Within the old Tao body system, this is almost unsolvable. I'm not willing to give in. Not long after, Demon Dome let out a scream that shook the universe and the sea of stars. In the terrifying nine-color thunder tribulation, his physical body exploded directly, and his origin was damaged at the same time. It was impossible to achieve immortality at that time. Demon Chong failed, just as Chi Dao expected. Even if he was given a chance, he couldn't do it. Impossible. I, Demon Dao, have 9 transformations and have been brewing for eternity. My flesh and blood are comparable to immortality, but I can't succeed. Demon Chong looked up to the sky and screamed, really unwilling to do so. This greatly affected his Taoist heart. After all, he has been brewing since the early days of the ancient times, and has been preparing for Demon Dao's 9 transformations, and then the final transformation. However, even though he had prepared for such a long time, he still failed, and this was without anyone hindering him. Thinking of what Chi Dao said before, he was so possessed by demon blood that he went completely crazy. I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. My Demon Dao cannot make mistakes. I can only succeed by killing you to prove my Taoist heart. Kill. Demon Chong went completely crazy, carrying rolling demon clouds, and suddenly turned into a crazy demon, with only murderous intent in his eyes. Boom! He fought directly in front of Chi Dao and used his demonic body that had been warmed for tens of millions of years to fight against Chi Dao. The fight between the two sides directly produced a huge explosion, a wave. I thought you could transform successfully, but it seems like that's all. You disappoint me very much. You are not the opponent I imagined, and you are not qualified to be my opponent. Qi Dao announced everything indifferently, and his body seemed to be opening up in the opening heaven. The 5 classics rotate and the Dao is taught. Immortal transformation punch. Qi Dao had no reservations this time. The 5 major scriptures created in his body were directly integrated into one. His life palace was as bright and eye-catching as ever before, as if his whole person was truly undergoing immortal transformation. Boom! With one punch, the rules of the universe were shattered. The power of the laws of the old way was directly annihilated under this punch and dissipated completely. Demon Chong was unable to receive this punch, and both of his arms were broken off the moment it hit him. Then, Qi Dao pierced his chest with one finger, sending him flying 1,000,000 miles away. Originally, Qi Dao wanted to take this opportunity to end Demon Chong's life completely, but the Lord of the Abyss had already taken this opportunity to activate his ancient tree scepter to kill him. In an instant, the large branches and leaves of the ancient tree covered the sky, blocking all the roads of Qi Dao, trying to drain the essence from his body. Time is confused, ancient and modern coexist. Qi Dao was so murderous that the Time Sutra broke out. This time, the scope of the Time Sutra is not large, but its power has doubled. The Lord of the Abyss soon realized that the ancient tree of heaven could not approach Qi Dao no matter what, even after a long period of time. Even if he wants to break through the realm created by the time scripture, it will be very difficult. Parts of the ancient tree that reach the sky are trapped in ancient times. What a powerful law of time, it can actually do this. The Lord of the Abyss was shocked. This was the first time he encountered such a method, which could banish some branches of the ancient tree to ancient times. But now, Qi Dao is standing tall, directly breaking through the blockade of the ancient tree and heading towards the demonic dome. It's time for you to hit the road. Qi Dao had no expression on his face and chased after him in an instant, waving the real dragon bone in his hand at the same time. But just when the real dragon bone was about to smash down, an ancient pagoda suddenly appeared and blocked the blow. When the real dragon bone collided with the ancient tower, the terrible movement directly turned the nearby star domain into an extremity, and no living thing could survive. There is no doubt that this is another semi-immortal level treasure. It's the 7-color exquisite tower. The legendary treasure is close to being an immortal weapon. It is rare in the world. It is said that a world is created within it, which can accommodate all things and can also suppress everything. This treasure has disappeared since ancient times, and now it has reappeared. Who is coming? Many ancestor-level figures were shocked and wanted to know. At the same time, Qi Dao also raised his head, and from a distance he saw a man wearing a purple gold dragon crown with purple energy billowing from his feet, making hundreds of star domains tremble. Here comes another one. Qi Dao watched the opponent approach indifferently, and waved the real dragon bone in his hand again. This time, even the 7-color exquisite tower could not be saved, and half of Mo Chong's body was blown apart. What a young man, he dares to attack the people I want to protect. You must be suppressed today. The man wearing a purple gold dragon crown came to the front and showed a terrifying method. He even intercepted a section of the star sea and threw it directly at it. There are at least thousands of star domains in this sea of stars. Who do you think you are? Qi Dao's face was expressionless, and he waved the real dragon bone in his hand, directly smashing the sea of stars that came towards him. But at the same time, Hong Dao also came in front of Demon Chong, blocking the dying Demon Chong and not giving Qi Dao a chance to kill him. At this moment, someone at the ancestor level finally saw the origin of Hong Dao. He is the ancestor who has passed down the Hong Dao Palace for endless years. It was said in ancient times that he has passed away, and he is still alive. This is another old monster. It seems to be from the same era as the Lord of the Abyss. Hiss. 2 old monsters. Qi Daogujing has no waves and is not afraid of anyone. However, he also knew that those half-step immortal opponents who were hiding had all arrived, aiming at the origin of his Taoism. Fellow Taoist Hong Dao, I haven't seen you for so many years, but you still look radiant. The Lord of the Abyss behind him also came, finally breaking through the influence of the Time Sutra. Ha ha ha, it's true that we haven't seen each other for many years, but today we have the opportunity to join forces to hunt the founder of the new system. Otherwise, after killing him, you and I will each occupy 2 immortal palaces. Hong Dao laughed and despised Qi Dao in front of him. Hearing this, the Lord of the Abyss shook his head. A fellow Taoist is here again. How can such a good thing be easily taken over by you and me? Right, fellow Taoist of the Wu clan. As soon as he finished speaking, a middle-aged man in white robes revealed his true form, with a huge fighting spirit that made people stay away. And between the opening and closing of this person's eyes, the scene of a sea of stars exploding appeared. He is Wu Zontian, the leader of the Wu clan. This is also a terrifying figure who has lived for a long time. Not only that, the old guy from the Killing Path Temple has already driven the temple on the road to avenge his disciples. This time it's four. Wu Zontian's eyes were bright and he looked at Qi Dao as he spoke, as if he was looking at a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. Sure enough, a murderous figure loomed in the void. It was very hostile to Qi Dao and wanted to cut him into pieces. This is the current owner of the Killing Path Temple, Han Chengdao. This is also an old monster. On the same day, four half-step immortal ancestors arrived together, their monstrous bodies standing in the starry sky, suffocating the universe. They are eyeing Qi Dao and want to completely block the way to the new system. But even so, Qi Dao was not afraid. He looked coldly at the four highest-level ancestors and was happy and unafraid. Everyone is here. Then come together and I will kill you all in one battle. Qi Dao looked at these terrifying opponents, and the real dragon bone in his hand was already pointing at one of them. He wants to fight against the fourth patriarch with his own strength. With the arrival of the four great ancestors, is he really sure that he can compete with the four half-step immortal existences? Any one of these old monsters is a terrifying figure famous for an era. After endless years of silence, who knows how advanced their cultivation has become? Any one of these people is the supreme being who can subvert the universe. This battle was absolutely terrifying. It was fought until the universe collapsed and countless star domains were destroyed. The arrival of four half-step immortal beings caused a big sensation. Especially after many ancestors recognized the origins of these existences, they were even more frightened. No need to say more about the Lord of the Abyss. He is a terrifying figure who has become famous before the ancient times. He has practiced for endless years and has a glimpse of the imperishable realm. He is sure to achieve immortality in the end of the world. The Hongdao Palace created by Hongdao was so powerful in the early ancient times that its inheritance has never been interrupted and it has always been one of the highest dojos in the universe. Even now he is a giant, and it is said that the legendary immortal scripture he practiced must now have contributed to creation. The leader of the Wu clan, Wu Zontian, proved the Tao through martial arts. In the early years of ancient times, he entered the ranks of the strongest beings. He once challenged all the strongest at that time and became invincible. The martial Tao Sutra he created as the supreme sutra at the semi-immortal level. With the physique and bloodline of the martial clan, it becomes more and more courageous the more you fight, and it is known as the best offensive sutra in the world. The pioneer Wu Zontian has been practicing for a long time, and he may have already made a new breakthrough. And the ancestor of the Killing Path Temple, Killing the Path, is even more of a murderous man. In ancient times, he was a terrifying figure who wielded a sword and mastered the most precious treasure at the same level. He became famous in one battle, which proves the terrifying power of the Killing Path Temple. The Killing Dao Temple where it is located has existed for an unknown number of years, and it has long been impossible to study. The background is the most terrifying. Any one of these half-immortal figures is a powerful figure in the ancient times, or a figure who has become famous before the ancient times. They all come out together. I really don't know who in the world can stop them. Even those restricted areas that are aloof and indifferent to worldly affairs must be wary of 3 points. An ancestor took a breath and said, he knows a lot. Now 4 half-step immortal level terrorists are taking action together, just to target the same person, and the impact is immeasurable. No matter how it ends, today's battle will definitely go down in history. It's interesting. The founder of the new system is indeed very powerful and can achieve this step at the same level. It's a pity that you were so unlucky that you were exposed in advance. Otherwise, when heaven and earth are further suppressed, our realm will fall, and you will be invincible in this world. Of course, none of this can happen. The next step is your death. Should you do it yourself, or should we do it ourselves? Hong Dao, who was wearing a purple gold dragon crown, spoke with full confidence and looked at Qi Dao from a high position. Fight if you want. You are really noisy. If you are really confident to kill me, then do it yourself. Chi Dao's fighting spirit is high, and his momentum is not at all inferior when facing the 4 half-step immortals. As soon as Chi Dao finished speaking, he punched him with a terrible punch. Boom! The 5 major life palaces roared in unison, and the aura of immortality was so strong that the power of this punch continued to sublimate, making it even more terrifying. Dare you! Pagoda Town is the current generation. Hong Dao's expression changed and he directly used the 7-color exquisite tower in his hand. Under the blessing of Taoism, the 7-colored exquisite pagoda was completely revived. Countless scriptures appeared on the exquisite pagoda, shaking the universe and trying to suppress the current world. Seeing this, Chi Dao directly waved the real dragon bone stick in his hand and knocked the 7-color exquisite tower flying out in the simplest and crudest way. At this moment, Chi Dao is aloof, independent, and looking down on all opponents in the world. You are no match for me. Chi Dao opened his mouth with such a groundbreaking sentence that shocked the world. I saw him holding a real dragon bone stick, pointing at the purple gold robe. Hong Dao added, 100 Zongxi can kill you. This is extremely confident. Hong Dao's expression changed instantly, it was extremely ugly. Arrogant, I'll see how arrogant you can be. Fellow Taoists, come together and kill this guy as soon as possible to avoid long nights and endless dreams. Don't forget, the new system he created in his body is extremely important to us. After obtaining it, it will allow us to block the oppression of the Dharma ending age and survive in the world forever. After success, each of the 5 fairy palaces in his body will be won. Hong Dao said after calming down. In fact, from the moment they met, he knew that he was indeed no match for Chi Dao. There was a long way between them. But Chi Dao said that he could be killed within 100 rounds, which really pissed him off. How could he tolerate Chi Dao looking down on him like this? Okay, good idea, but what about the remaining immortal palace? How will it be distributed? The Lord of the Earth Abyss said with a smile on his face and a scepter in his hand. He is no match for Chi Dao, and he knows it well. But the problem is, there are 4 old monsters here, and he doesn't think Chi Dao really has the ability to challenge the 4 of them on his own. I can only have a fairy palace, but I must cut off his primordial spirit with my own hands to avenge my disciple. The master of the Sha Dao temple, Sha Cheng Dao, opened his mouth with a sinister air, his sharp eyes never moving away from Chi Dao's body. Let's do this. After we kill this guy, we will discuss this matter again. No matter what, he can't run away. No one in the world can save him. Wu Zontian opened his mouth, clasping his hands behind his back, equally confident, and started distributing the trophies in advance. Good. Then take this kid down first. Hong Dao laughed, his smile becoming more and more ferocious. However, Dao is more ferocious than they imagined. While they were talking, Chi Dao adjusted his posture slightly, then held the real dragon bone and killed Hong Dao directly. Among these people, Chi Dao could tell at a glance that Hong Dao was the weakest one and the first to break through. Old guy, I'll kill you first on the 5th or 4th one. Chi Dao held a real dragon bone stick and went straight to kill him, blowing up the star domain where he was. Seeing Chi Dao being so ferocious, Hong Dao's heart skipped a beat, but he quickly calmed down. There were 4 people on his side, and it was impossible for the other party to kill him in front of the other masters. How brave! Let's all work together to kill him. Hong Dao shouted, and at the same time he came up with the 7-color exquisite tower. But what no one expected was that the 5 gods from Chi Dao's body flew out directly. One held a true dragon picture to challenge Wu Zan Dao, and the other held a killing Dao dagger to challenge the ancestor of the killing Dao temple. The remaining 3 gods held back the Lord of the Abyss, but Chi Dao overtook them in terms of numbers. He is divided into 5 bodies, each of which is the origin of his own Taoism, not much weaker than the original body. The expressions of the 4 great ancestors immediately changed, and they were flustered. No one expected the reversal to come so suddenly. The 4 ancestors have thought everything out in advance, and absolutely no one can come to save Chi Dao, and no one dares to save him. As a result, Chi Dao didn't need help from others at all, because there were gods in the 5 palaces in his body who could kill him at the critical moment. As a result, these 4 ancestors became the weak side and were suppressed by numbers. Who is hunting whom? Not to mention these 4 half-step immortal level old monsters, even the ancestors watching the battle across hundreds of star domains were confused. What is going on? Is that an incarnation, forcefully gathering people to delay time? It doesn't look like it. Those 5 were killed from the immortal palace in his own body. They are more like the embodiment of the origin of Taoism. Is there going to be a reversal today, with the 4 great ancestors bleeding across the sky? If this is true, the pattern of this universe is really going to change. As soon as this scene appeared, countless ancestors were shocked and all looked confused. At this time, the 4 supreme beings at the half-step immortal level were in a difficult mood, while fighting against the gods in front of them. Don't worry, everyone, this must be his clone and it won't last long. As long as we defeat his 5 clones one by one, his body won't last long. Hong Dao shouted while fighting Qi Dao's body. He bravely faced Qi Dao, wanting to curse, but he didn't expect Qi Dao to be prepared with such means. He had an inexplicable premonition that this was a deliberate attempt to lure them into taking the bait, and it was done on purpose. Otherwise, why not use such a terrible method sooner rather than later, when the 4 of them came to kill together? In fact, without Hong Dao's reminder, the other 3 people thought it was just a clone, so they didn't take it very seriously. However, Hong Dao can't afford to delay because he is facing Qi Dao's true form. Qi Dao is so fierce, all his moves are killing moves, every move is fatal. I said, I'll take your life within 100 rounds, are you ready? Qi Dao snorted coldly, his momentum like a rainbow. From the beginning, he had a plan in mind, to lure enough half-step immortals to appear, and then suppress them all. His confidence lies in the 5 life palaces brewing in his body. Those were not ordinary clones, but the source of Taoism in his body, but they did not have real flesh and blood bodies. But in a real fight, the combat power that can be exerted is definitely not weaker than that of any half-step immortal ancestor. It can be said that he alone can create a terrifying team with a semi-immortal level. Everyone is himself, and they are connected with each other. Not to mention, there is a god sitting on his spiritual platform, which represents the highest spiritual thought, which is the location of the soul. He will not take the initiative to kill him unless he has to. Otherwise, if, together with his true form, 7 identical versions of him fight against the heroes of the world, it will definitely shock the entire universe and scare those ancestors from fearing to be born again. Boom. Qi Dao does what he says, and his body pursues Hong Dao. Every move he makes is a manifestation of the ultimate Taoism, suppressing Hong Dao everywhere. Even if he had a piece of precious body protection in his hand, it was of no use. He was retreating steadily, bleeding into the starry sky. Ah, you are forcing me. The purple gold dragon crown on Hong Dao's head was knocked off by Qi Dao, and his hair became disheveled. He no longer looked dignified, but looked quite embarrassed. At this moment, he looked at the other 3 ancestors and found that they were all fighting hard. They were all trapped and unable to support them. This made him even more chilled. Those were not so-called clones at all. Qi Dao's 5 life palaces are so incredible. The secret technique of ancient times, Yinwang Futian Kung Fu. Hong Dao broke out and began to fight desperately. Otherwise, he will really be defeated by Qi Dao in 100 rounds, and he is no match at all. Boom. Hong Dao took action with all his strength, and the prehistoric aura erupted from his body, and the aura was rising steadily. In the end, every inch of flesh and blood on his body was blessed by laws, as if he was wearing a layer of armor saying, powerful throughout the world. And in his hand, the 7-colored exquisite tower shook slightly, causing the universe to crack open, like a broken mirror. It's a small trick, I'll kill you. Chaos Sutra. Qi Dao was fearless, and a strong aura of chaos instantly erupted from his body. Each ray collapsed the void, annihilating a star domain. When the 2 collided, the area in the middle turned directly into an extremity, subverting everything, and the rules of the Great Tao collapsed. Immortal Transformation Sutra. Immortal transformation is in this world. Time passes, time is like a picture. Suppress and kill. Qi Dao also used the strongest method, and the 5 life palaces in his body became more and more brilliant, and they were almost covered by the rich immortal energy. In an instant, the star domain where the 2 of them were was frozen, like a lifelike painting. Hong Dao was also frozen, caught off guard. Then, Qi Dao punched out, and everything along the way was immortal transformation, returning to heaven. This method is the most terrifying for the top beings of the old way, because it will speed up their return to heaven. Roll. Hong Dao struggled desperately, shook the seven-color exquisite tower, and finally got rid of the influence of the Time Sutra. However, this immortal transformation punch was too fast, and he still couldn't dodge it. Puff! Half of Hong Dao's body was blown apart, and he was dripping with blood. What's even more frightening is that his body is transforming into a Dao, and his origin is passing away quickly, even attracting the great Dao guillotine to kill him directly. At this moment, Hong Dao was panicked and desperately used Dao method to repair his body. When he reaches this level, he can be born with blood and flesh in a single thought and recover as before. However, how can the power of immortal transformation be easily resisted? Hong Dao soon discovered sadly that his flesh and blood could not be reorganized, and the power of immortal transformation was further eroding his strength. In just this moment, his cultivation level has begun to decline. No, fellow Daoist, save me. Hong Dao was extremely frightened. He didn't want to die in such a tragic way. However, despite his cry for help, no one could come. It's not that I don't want to help him, it's that he is really held back by the gods in Qidao Ming Palace and can't get away at all. What makes the three ancestors feel even more aggrieved is that they may not be the opponent of a god in a duel. I told you, you are the weakest one, I can kill you within 100 rounds. Since you like to save people, then you die first. Qidao stepped forward, coldly approached Hong Dao, and stepped through his chest with one foot. Hong Dao was extremely frightened, began to sublimate, and wanted to do everything he could. However, Qidao's immortal transformation fist fell, directly breaking his Dao method and accelerating the speed of his Dao transformation. Soon, the great Dao guillotine fell, and Hong Dao's primordial spirit was chopped off without Qidao taking action. An ancestor who was half-step immortal was hunted down by counter-hunters. In the starry sky, the holy blood was sprinkled, but this time there was no vision of heaven crying, because the flood was cut by the great Dao's guillotine, but was collected by the great Dao of heaven and earth, and returned to heaven. In an instant, the starry sky dimmed, and countless ancestors forgot to breathe. This scene was really shocking. Qidao said he would kill Hong Dao within 100 rounds, and he really did it. Even after 100 rounds, a half-step immortal ancestor has already returned to heaven. It's so frustrating. Today I really have to witness everything. There are no more than 10 supreme beings at the half-step immortal level. Counting from the ancestor of the horned dragon, this is already the third. Moreover, the dying demon Chong cannot escape. This demon who was so arrogant throughout the early years of ancient times has ended up like this. Together, he killed 4 supreme beings at the half-step immortal level by himself. Kill crazy. Those ordinary ancestors were shocked to the extreme. Who could have expected that things would suddenly turn to this extent? In the blink of an eye, a terrifying half-immortal figure was killed, which could not stop Qidao's terrifying methods. The moment he solved Hong Dao, Qidao came to the dying demon Chong. Half of his body was gone, his Dao heart was broken, he was dying, and he was beginning to transform into a Dao. Let's hit the road. Qidao only had these 3 words, and he punched down and killed demon Chong. Starting from this day, the starry sky is destined to spread the fate of being beheaded. He single-handedly killed 4 half-immortal level horror figures, and this record will even be broken. It's your turn. Those who seek the Dao and the Dharma will all die under my Dao and the Dharma. Today, I will kill until I have no rival in the world. Qidao took action again, taking one step across more than a dozen star domains, and struck directly at the ancestor of the Killing Path Temple with a bright punch. This man's disciple Tu Tian also died in his hands, and he had the deepest resentment against him. Qidao would not let him go if he wanted to eradicate it. Boom! The god holding the killing dagger disappeared into Qidao's body in an instant, and re-entered one of the life palaces. At the same time, the killing Dao dagger also fell into the hands of Qidao's true form. This treasure also belonged to the Killing Path Temple, but it had been refined by him. Kill my disciple and take away the treasure of my Killing Dao Temple. You deserve to die. Sha Chengdao and Qidao gave Qidao a hard blow, but he was sent flying far away. At this moment, he was going crazy, his hair was disheveled, and his eyes had already turned blood red, full of terrifying murderous intent. He always avenges and settles any grudges in the Killing Dao Temple. Even if he felt the terrifying aura on Qi Dao's body, this old guy looked like he would not stop fighting and completely exploded. Those who kill will always be killed. Are you allowed to have your disciples care about my Taoism and not allow me to suppress them? If you were really capable, how could you be defeated? After all, you are still too weak. If you want to avenge your disciple, I can send you down to meet him. Qi Dao responded coldly. He didn't bother to pay attention to such people with double standards and just killed them all. The temple of Killing Dao will turn into ashes after today. Kill. One strike to kill the sky, kill the earth, kill the sky, kill the immortal. Kill, kill, kill. The old guy Sha Chengdao is completely crazy, bursting out with strong murderous intent, and the naked eye can almost see a terrifying bloody light sweeping across the universe. Some star domains were directly erased. Half a step into immortality, the whole world will perish in anger. Zheng. Sha Chengdao evolved his Killing Dao temple into a peerless sharp blade. It was only 3 inches long, but had overwhelming killing intent. The visions of mountains of corpses and seas of blood all appeared on this dagger. This is the foundation of the Killing Path Temple, and it is also the second semi-immortal level treasure, called the Heaven-Slaying Sword. From this name, we can know the terrible ambition of killing enlightenment. Kang. The Heaven-Slaying Sword vibrated, and the sword was swift and cruel without any sound. It transcended the constraints of time and space and struck directly at Qi Dao's throat to chop off his head. You're not good enough. Time appears, and the sword cuts through the years. One sword cuts across eternity. Qi Dao took action, also using the Sha Dao dagger he got from Tu Tian to fight against Sha Cheng Dao. This is a confrontation between 2 treasures from the Killing Dao Temple, which made those ancestors dumbfounded. Qi Dao is really murderous. Ah, kill, kill, kill. Sure enough, when Sha Chengdao saw Qi Dao using the treasure of his Sha Cheng Dao temple to kill him, he became even more crazy and went to kill him desperately. Boom! 2 extremely sharp treasures collided, and murderous intent swept directly into all directions of the universe like a tide. But soon, a force of time came over and cut an endless line of time between the 2 of them. On the other side of the line of time, Sha Chengdao seemed to be exiled. No matter how powerful his divine ability was, he couldn't kill him or hurt Qi Dao on this side. A knife cuts across eternity. This is the strongest manifestation of the Taoist Sutra of time. Who can easily break the rules of time? However, this is not the end. Qi Dao holds the killing dagger, and the power of time on his body becomes stronger and stronger. In his body, the 5 major life palaces continued to erupt with the sound of scriptures, and the original Tao method poured out of the body one after another, gradually turning into the sword of time that can affect time. One sword, 1 year, carries the past, present and future. The years turn into swords, cutting everything in reverse, and the strongest one is just the Yellow King. Qi Dao took action, and the killing dagger in his hand became particularly dazzling. Zheng. The power of millions of time condensed into the knife of time and appeared beside Sha Chengdao, directly distorting the time of the universe. At this moment, the knife of thousands of years moved, invisible and colorless, cutting off the longevity and affecting the years. Ah! After the first blow, Sha Chengdao couldn't bear it anymore, and his body began to age visibly to the naked eye. Kill the sky. Sha Chengdao wanted to fight to the death. He used his divine ability and waved the sky-slaying sword in his hand, which indeed blocked many swords of time. However, this sword of time is too dense and terrifying. If you don't pay attention, good thing, it will cut off his origin and make his lifespan decrease. What follows is that the realm is also falling rapidly. This is the end of the Dharma era, and after being beheaded by the sword of time, he will not be able to withstand it at all. Puff! Half of Sha Chengdao's body exploded directly, and the holy blood that originally had a rich origin decayed in an instant and turned into Jia Huichen. Seeing this scene, the bodies of Wu Zontian and the Lord of the Earth Abyss became cold. How could they think of fighting? The 2 of them knew that Sha Chengdao would not survive. If he didn't leave, they would all die here. They couldn't even capture Qi Dao's deity in the first place, let alone kill Qi Dao's true form. That was just nonsense. I'm in trouble today, let's go. Fellow Taoist, will see you later. These two ancestors did not hesitate to use their origins to get rid of the obstruction of the gods, and each turned into a stream of light and fled to the depths of the universe. How mighty he was when he came, how embarrassed he was when he fled. The supreme ancestor of the Wu clan, has escaped. There is also the Lord of the Abyss. They saw that the situation was not good and left directly. Does Qi Dao really have such terrifying cultivation that he can suppress everything in the world? This is going to really change. It will be useless for the four ancestors to kill each other. Those who are killed will be killed, and those who flee will flee. Those half-step immortal ancestors who were beheaded are now the ceiling of combat power. They are all afraid and not opponents. The pattern of the universe will be completely overturned and changed. The escaping Lord Wuzan of Heaven and Earth Abyss shocked countless creatures, and those ordinary ancestor-level figures were even more panic-stricken. Because there are too many places connected with this kind of old monster's dojo, some ancestors have begun to worry that they will be liquidated, and they have fled with their ancestors in advance. At the same time, Qi Dao also noticed the fleeing lords of Wuzantian and Diwan, but did not pursue them immediately. Return, Qi Dao shouted loudly, and the 5 major life palaces in his body vibrated, causing all the other 4 gods to come back. The true dragon bone and the true dragon picture naturally returned to his hands. He is just one person, and he has 3 great treasures in his possession. No one can escape if they are infected with karma. Even if you escape from this vast universe, I will hunt you down and kill you. No one can survive. Qi Dao stands tall in the starry sky, and its sound shakes the star domain. But at this moment, in front of him, Sha Chengdao has not really died yet, but has just turned into a living mummy, under the influence of the knife of time. Now, the origin in his body has been exhausted, and he has lost even half a point of cultivation. Under the double blow of the sword of time and the age of ending law, no one in the old ways can withstand such drastic changes. Not even a supreme existence with a half-step immortality level. Another treasure, the Temple of Killing Dao, really has a profound foundation. Qi Dao took away the heaven-slaying sword, which can be transformed into a palace where people can practice in seclusion. But Qi Dao felt that it would be more appropriate to release it as a sword. After a while, Qi Dao completely erased all the marks on the heaven-slaying sword and completely refined it into his own treasure. At the same time, Qi Dao has returned to his peak condition and is ready to start chasing the Lord of the Abyss. Kindness. Wait, these 2 knives are still related. Just when Qi Dao was about to take action, he found that the killing dagger and the sky-slaying knife that were placed together were attracted to each other and began to melt into each other and become one. 2 swords in one body. It's interesting that Sha Chengdao deliberately divided it into 2 treasures. He wanted to kill me with one of the treasures, but he didn't expect that I would get it. Qi Dao was a little surprised, waiting for the 2 treasures to merge into one treasure. Nowadays, these 2 pieces are half-immortal level treasures, and the extent they can achieve after fusion is simply unimaginable. I wonder if I can break through to the immortal level. Qi Dao guessed in his heart, but this is the end of the Dharma era, and there is little hope. Kang. In the big universe, the ancestors all noticed this scene. The 2 treasures were merging, and the light erupted shone in all directions, with great power. Soon, the power of Great Dao fell, but was erased by Qi Dao. It is indeed true that the 2 treasures of the Killing Path Temple can be fused. As early as in ancient times, I heard that the ancestors of the Killing Path Temple deliberately divided the heaven-slaying sword into 2 parts and cultivated them separately. After enough accumulation, they should be completely integrated to break through the shackles of heaven and earth and reach the level of an immortal weapon. Quote, is this really going to come true? Isn't that a huge advantage that Qi Dao took advantage of? Many ancestors were shocked and then became extremely jealous. Of course, jealousy is jealousy, no one is really stupid enough to grab it. Why integrate the old ways? Use my new system as a melting pot to recast the blade and survive with the world. Qi Dao blocked the catastrophe of heaven and earth, and then directly used the original Taoism in the 5 fate palaces as a furnace to recast the fused heaven-slaying sword. Boom! The moment the sword was made, just the cold light reflected on the blade cut through the void of the universe. Qi Dao gently grabbed the handle of the knife and slashed it in front of him, and Great Dao's rules collapsed. This means that the recast was successful. And this blade already has a trace of immortality BFDC, and it is only the last step away from the real immortal weapon. The most important thing is that the sky-slaying sword was reforged by the new system and became Qi Dao's thing. It can withstand the erosion of the age of Dharma and coexist with the world. Even if Qi Dao gives this knife to others, it will never be able to exert any power. Only the new system of Taoism can control it. Meet the master. The heaven-slaying sword is willing to go through fire and water for its master and kill all enemies in the world. The reforged sky-slaying sword gave birth to a new weapon spirit, a brave and upright young man, but with only killing intent in his eyes. This sword is a unique weapon that can only be used by Qi Dao. The killing intent and coercion it exudes directly suppresses the current world. Just like another Qi Dao descends on the world, it makes those ancestors unable to breathe. Oh my God! The heaven-slaying sword is completed. Why do I feel that it has become an immortal weapon that can suppress the current world? How can it be? An ancestor exclaimed and was guessing. At this moment, Qi Dao didn't stop at all, and headed directly towards the direction of the old thing in the eye of the abyss. The great chase across the universe begins. However, it was not Qi Dao who was being hunted, but Qi Dao who was hunting down the two ancestors alone. He was extremely fierce and wanted to kill all enemies today. The heaven-slaying sword, go and chop off the head of Wu Zontian. Qi Dao threw the heaven-slaying sword. Now this heaven-slaying sword has a new system of Taoism, plus it has been reforged and transformed once. It has almost entered the ranks of immortal weapons, and can naturally kill the ancestors who are half a step into the immortal level. You will live up to your command. The heaven-slaying sword directly sliced through the shattering void and left. It carried Qi Dao's spiritual thoughts, and could also burst out at critical moments. In this way, Qi Dao and the sky-slaying sword each had a target, causing the entire universe to be in turmoil and all races to be terrified. On that day, the blockbuster star domain cracked open and was submerged under the terrifying light of the sword. An ancestor-level figure was horrified to discover that Wu Zontian was overtaken by the heaven-slaying sword and was almost cut in two. His life was in danger. Oh my God, a supreme ancestor-level figure is fleeing and was almost killed with a knife. His holy blood spilled across the starry sky, and even his holy bones broke. The direction in which he fled seems to be the forbidden land of God. It is a forbidden area, and there are transcendent beings inside. Since ancient times, all beings who tried to enter the restricted area have died, including those at the semi-immortal level. The leader of the Wu clan is going to die. In the direction of the sky-slaying sword, there were ancestor-level figures who were inexplicably shocked. This really killed them all and forced a supreme ancestor into the restricted area. You know, it's just a knife, it's not even Qi Dao's real body chasing him. This time I really went crazy. Fellow Taoist, I don't have long to live. If you really want to commit annihilation, aren't you afraid that before I die, I will turn into a Dao and drag you along with you? Qi Dao's true form pursued and killed the Lord of Diwan, all the way to the vicinity of Diwan. The two of them fought all the way, and countless amounts of holy blood were spilled, all from the Lord of the Abyss. After the fight, he was really no match for Qi Dao and could only flee all the way. However, Qi Dao's speed is so fast that one step can cover a distance of billions of miles. Even if he escapes to the outer reaches of the universe, it will be useless. Qi Dao comes with the intention of killing. You're not worthy yet. Qi Dao snorted coldly and approached the scarred Lord of the Abyss in front. He could no longer hold on. From the moment the Lord of the Abyss took action against him, everything was irreversible. Okay, then don't blame me for being heartless. You're going to die anyway, so I'm going to drag you along with me no matter what. The ancient tree reaching the sky. The Lord of the Abyss waved the scepter in his hand again and began to evolve an ancient tree that reached the sky and the earth. However, this time Qi Dao was already prepared. The 5 major palaces of life erupted, and gods rushed out from them to deliver a peerless palm strike. This is the power of the 5 supreme scriptures. Boom! The ancient tree of Tongtian was crumbling as soon as it evolved. It was constantly being destroyed by the power of the 5 scriptures, and it was difficult to support it. Behind the ancient tree that reached the sky, the Lord of the Earth Abyss looked horrified and coughed out a large mouthful of blood. This is your true strength, the Lord of the Abyss said in horror. He thought of the first time Qi Dao and himself had a confrontation, when Qi Dao seemed to be trapped by the ancient tree that reached the sky. But now it seems that if Qi Dao copes with it with all his strength, he will not give him even a chance to be trapped. This made him unwilling to accept it. He had become a Taoist for a long time and kept cultivating this ancient tree. In the end, he could not stop Qi Dao's methods at all. Now, he is about to be defeated, etc. One last chance. If we can lead him into the abyss, there is no chance. With this thought flashing through the mind of the Lord of the Abyss, he directly restrained his divine ability and escaped into the abyss with his scepter. This abyss has always been his habitat, and he is the only one who knows all the situations best. And this abyss also hides secrets that even the outside world doesn't know. Where can you go? Qi Dao took a step forward and spread out his spiritual thoughts, directly sealing a dozen nearby star domains, leaving no way out. Seeing the old guy, the Lord of the Abyss, fleeing into the abyss, he chased after him. The age of the formation of this abyss has long been impossible to study. It looks like an abyss. There is no concept of time and space in it, only an eternal darkness. After submerging into it, Qi Dao clearly felt something was wrong, as if something was coming back to life. Ha ha ha, you really dare to enter the abyss of my earth, you simply don't know whether to live or die. To tell you the truth, this abyss is actually formed by the mouth of the star-devouring ancestor insect. It is vaster and more boundless than the hundreds of star domains put together. This star-eating progenitor has been dormant for endless years. Once it revives, most of the universe will be eaten up by it. No matter how strong you are in creating a new system, you can't escape it. The Lord of the Abyss sneered and heard a voice from deeper inside. The star-swallowing ancestor. Qi Dao immediately thought of this terrifying creature. It is said that before ancient times, a terrible insect was born that specialized in feeding on the stars. As long as it doesn't die, it can keep swallowing it, and its strength will become more and more terrifying. In the end, even the entire universe will be swallowed up. In that era, this kind of star-devouring insect was regarded as a pest, and an earth-shattering ancient war was launched. Countless masters came out to destroy this terrible insect and wipe out the star-devouring insect group. Who could have imagined that the ancestor of the star-devouring insect family was not dead, but that Shen Shen had turned into the abyss here, and was discovered by the Lord of the Abyss, and took over. Only now do I realize that it's over. The star-swallowing ancestor has revived and begun to devour everything. And you will be the first bite of food after the star-eating ancestor has revived. The Lord of the Abyss was laughing wildly, extremely proud. This is a secret he has always mastered, but he didn't expect it to come in handy today. Rumble. Just as the Lord of the Abyss was speaking, Qi Dao discovered that the entrance he had just entered had disappeared. Instead, a terrifying corrosive power gradually began to erupt in this boundless dark space, trying to swallow everything up. Kill him, and I will help you revive and come back to the world. The Lord of the Abyss shouted, discussing with the star-swallowing ancestor insect. Roar. The star-eating ancestor made a terrifying vibration and sound, and completely moved. At this moment, a behemoth suddenly emerged in the universe, standing on the edge of the universe. A huge black worm revived and looked down at the universe. As the star-eating ancestor worm awakens, countless stars are trembling, and countless star domains are in fear, as if the sky is falling. The ancestors in the distance also saw this scene, and were extremely frightened, remembering the fear of being dominated. It's the star-eating ancestor. It's not dead yet, and it's appeared again. The monsters that slaughtered everywhere in ancient times did not die under the encirclement and suppression of a few semi-immortals. Is this really possible? Even ordinary level ancestors will be easily swallowed up by it, and they can't stop the power. Could it be said that in this Dharma-ending era, another disaster of star-eating insects will occur? However, most of the half-immortal horror figures are almost dead. Who can stop it now? An ancestor said worriedly. At this moment, Qi Dao is standing inside the star-eating insect, and the corrosive power around it has become more and more terrifying. He can even feel that his own Taoism is being annihilated. What an ancestral insect, indeed a bit terrifying. Qi Dao's heart moved, and the 5 life palaces glowed, guarding him. However, this ancestral insect is too huge, just a huge mouth, like an abyss, making it difficult to identify the direction. Even if Qi Dao wants to take action, he has no clue for a while and it is difficult to break through. However, things took a turn for the better soon. The moment the star-swallowing ancestor worm squirmed and swallowed the sea of stars, the sky-slaying sword came back. Sensing Qi Dao's aura, the knife cut a huge gash in the star-swallowing ancestor worm's body. Roar! The severe pain made the star-swallowing ancestor insect roar, its anger reached the extreme, and it opened its mouth to swallow the heavenly sword. However, Qi Dao took advantage of this opportunity and rushed out, blasting a big hole in its huge body, causing the star-swallowing ancestor worm to roll around in the sea of stars. A treasure that is just a hair away from transforming into an immortal weapon. This is something from the Killing Path Temple, and it actually made it possible for you. Seeing this scene, the face of the Lord of the Abyss instantly froze. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.